You're just moments away from a brand new episode of WTF Nations Radio's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by the dynamic duo CQ and Radar. Pop Culture Warrior is your number one source for all things entertainment. If it's happening in TV, movies, video games, or comedy, they're all over it. And don't forget to say hi in the comments below. And while you're at it, let the boys know what you think and what you'd like to hear them talk about. Now strap in and get comfortable, because you're in for one hell of a ride. This is Pop Culture Warrior. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, welcome one and all. Today's August 10th, 2021. This is episode 67 of Pop Culture Warrior, right here on WTF Nation Radio. This is the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture, so you don't have to. I'm CQ. For those that are like, who the hell are you? I'm CQ. I'm the Pop Culture Warrior, man. And with me, as always, is my battle buddy for life, the man in the bubble, the voice of the unpop culture, the guy that types in my ear, Mr. Radar!
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, buddy?
What's up?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there, bud. I'm hanging in there. Dude, so much. Okay, so first of all, real quick, pop culture, Suicide Squad, watch it. It's awesome. I think I'll do like a review on it next week, but I want to give people a chance to see it, whether they see it in theaters or at home. I highly recommend seeing it in theaters. I saw it both. I really liked it. Really good movie for a DC product. Really good. Recommend seeing it in theaters. If not, see it at home. Great show. Great movie. Moving on. Couple quick things. First of all, hi everybody. Thanks for checking us out. I see you guys. Steven, Bobby, Dominico, Jessica. I see Jim, Elliot. What's up? Shipwrecks in. Radar. I see you hanging in the chats. David.
Yeah, I'm in the chat.
All you guys. Everybody. Guys. Hello. Thank you for coming out. Pete. What's up, buddy? Love you, bro. Thanks for coming out. So first that. Second of all, how exciting. We've been telling you for the last month that we're in the pool of possible podcast awardees. Hey, Jeff, what's up, my man? Thanks for coming out. And it has been announced yesterday, which is a big day for me yesterday. First, it was announced that we've been nominated! Woo! So out of hundreds, if not thousands of podcasts that are out there that enter into the pool, 10 are selected. 10 for nomination. And we were one of the 10. And now it is going to a select group of judges to determine out of those 10 who is the best in entertainment for the podcast awards. And so fingers crossed, come, I think it's September, I think, when they do the announcement. So come September, we'll be hoisting a trophy right here, hopefully, if that's, if that is so to be. If you voted for us, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Literally, we can't be nominated without votes from you, the audience. So thank you. Thank you very much for voting for our show. With that said, if you click the little box that says like, hey man, choose me to be a judge, then there's a small chance. I think they're picking like 1,000. I think 1,000 out of, there's hundreds of thousands of people that vote and stuff. Out of those, 1,000 are being selected as kind of the random audience voting. So check your emails, check your spams. If you get something from Podcast Awards saying, hey, time to vote, please vote for us in the entertainment category so that we can hoist the trophy. So thank you to you watching at home. Thank you to my lovely co-host Radar, who I'm half the man without my lovely co-host. Thank you to everybody at WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments. All of you guys, we love all y'all. You're the best, and let's hope for a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why we can't win. I think we will win, actually.
I mean, considering the fact that in our first year in existence, we started in February of 2020, and within the first year, I mean, we got nominated, right? We made the top 10. We didn't win. It's okay, but we nominated. And so for this being our second year, to be nominated again, hey, awesome. Hi to, hey, Floridian, what's up, buddy? And Mike, I see you in the chats. Thanks, guys, for checking us out. I appreciate all you guys for coming out. Michael, Scott, Ezekiel, God bless, man. Ezekiel, he's coming out the gate with questions. What rank were you when you served? I'm not prior enlisted. I'm just curious. The live stream goes somewhere. All right, hey man, thanks for checking us out, man. Just kind of random dropped in, dude. That's awesome. Appreciate you, bud. So this, for those that read the announcement, I guess, or read the blurb I put in for the video. Typically we go in and we talk pop culture, we talk about Marvel news, DC, and all this cool stuff, and all the toys in the background, and all the things and collectibles, and yay. Today I wanted to do something different. We do have a guest. First of all, let me start with it. We do have a guest coming on in an hour. He's a phenomenally awesome dude. You've probably, if you scroll social media and if you're into like the kind of stuff that I'm into, like he's popped up in your feed multiple times because he's been covered by everybody at this point. He does 3D printing. He makes like all this stuff that I have that I bought in stores. Like this dude makes it himself and it looks phenomenal. He's got a working Iron Man suit, right? In the sense it's, PVC and plastic and all that. But like opens, closes, lights up, makes noise, does all the stuff. It is phenomenal. It's Frankly Built is the channel on YouTube. Frank's his name. He's going to be coming on to talk about all the really fucking cool shit he does. And it is mind-blowing. I'm so excited to have that conversation. That being said, like I said, I wanted to do something a little different today. Because yesterday is a day for me that always has great significance. August 9th, going back to 2005, is the day, going back to one of my jokes, that I was shot 5 times. And I go, oh no, I mean 5 times. Because see, I've got the um. So I wanted to kind of tell that story, and I don't think a lot of people who listen to the show. I obviously my friends. I love you guys. You guys are out there. You know this. You've heard this story. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell it again for all those that haven't heard it and are curious. Because I do get the occasional question about like the missing finger and like Ezekiel was out there. He was saying what rank and what did I do? So radar.
Let's start from the top.
Yeah.
Start
Do you
from
mind?
the-
Do you
skip the
mind?
top.
Do you mind if I go on a little story time, sir?
Absolutely. Oh, you want me to ask you some questions?
I
I
mean,
can interview you a little bit.
yeah.
Just give me.
Go ahead.
You do the interviewing every week. You do the interviewing, right? Let me interview you. So
All right.
we'll skip. But okay. So when did you join the service, sir?
When did I join the service? I was really right out of high school. So a little bit of background. I was born and raised New York City. Go Giants. And I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. I feel like we should be playing like very somber music in the background. Like I should have just
You're in charge of the music.
a music's track in the background. So I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. I was right there in the city, and obviously, it goes without saying, everybody that's here is pretty much post 9/11. That was a day that impacted me greatly. Before that happened, I wasn't sure what I was going to do after high school. I literally was looking at some community colleges, and I mean, I was poor. I grew up in the ghetto, like legit the ghetto, Spanish Harlem, on the block. Like it was not a great upbringing. I was the only child of a teenage single mom. And so, like, me and my mom were only 17, 18 years apart in age, and wasn't the best upbringing. So I didn't have a lot of opportunities, and was looking at what I was going to do after high school. So when 9/11 happened, that obviously kind of changed everything.
You felt compelled.
I felt a bit compelled. Military had never even really crossed my mind as a thing, as like an option. It's just something, growing up in New York City, it's like, it's not military, pre 9/11, the military is not like a thing. You know what I mean? Maybe you come from the South and we shoot guns all the times and all this and all that. Like, to me, guns were, handguns for stick ups and robberies and muggings, and like, it wasn't this thing. And so, post 9/11, obviously my whole senior year in high school, like, military advertisement was crazy through the roof, and like there was ads everywhere, and they're recruiting nonstop, and it was all this, and so it kind of got into it became into my knowledge of an option. And so I had to finish my my senior year, and by the end of my senior year I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna enlist. And so I graduated high school, and I went to enlist. I went to the recruiting station and was like, hey, I'm ready, let's go, let's do this. I just graduated, I'm ready to go. And there was such an influx of people signing up, that they're like, okay, cool, like, here, we'll do all the stuff. I did all the you go to MEPS, and I did all the paperwork, I did all the screenings, I did everything, and I still had like a 6-month wait, because
Really?
they were it was so many people signing up at that time that they were just overwhelmed, honestly. And so, I graduated in whatever it was, that'd have been July of 2002.
Yeah.
And my entry date, the first day I joined, like I went to basic, was January of 2003.
Wow.
So it took me almost 6 months to get my date. And I joined infantry, which you would think there's a lot of spots.
Did you do poorly on your ASVAB? No.
No. Okay, so this is truth. This is truth. It might sound braggy. It is true. I scored incredibly well on the ASVAB. Incredibly well. I think, what is
then
it?
You were like, and then they're like, well, you can go infantry. Okay. All right.
Well, okay. So the idea is there's what, like 200 and whatever it is, 40 jobs available in the Army or whatever it is, and of those 240, I think I qualified for 232 or something like that. It was like 8, and nuclear, fucking, I don't know, whatever it was. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. And just me being young and dumb, I just was like, I felt personally attacked. You see what I'm saying? I was, 9/11 happened, and the whole country felt attacked. But being born and bred from New York and going to school and living not too far from Ground Zero, it felt personal. And so when I had all these options, like, I wasn't joining the military to get a career. I wasn't joining the military because I wanted to get my education benefits. Like, I wanted to kick some ass.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get some.
Right. Have you ever heard of field artillery before?
Again, knowing what I know now.
Okay. All right.
Knowing what I know now, I would have obviously maybe made other choices. But of course,
and if you really want to fuck some shit up, like, why don't you fire like a giant cannon?
Yeah.
Or missiles or something. You mean like a 13 mic and like shot rockets at people or something?
Yeah.
Actually, in all fairness, probably would have been doing convoy escort, but that's another story.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And like, I don't knock any of the branches. I don't knock any of the services, any of the MOSs, none of it. I chose infantry, and part of it might have been me getting a little bit suckered by the recruiter, right? I mean, does that ever who
happen?
hasn't been at this point? But, because I told him, I was like, dude, I want to get me some. And yeah, he could have been like, yeah, field artillery, you could be firing off this, or, surface to air missile guy, or I don't know, drone guy, like whatever it was. I probably could have done it. But he's like, oh man, yeah, infantry. That's their bread and butter, man. Kicking indoors, taking names, like that's their jam. So I signed up, and I remember I was sitting there, and I'm signing the stuff, and he had like the little brochures and stuff, and I saw one with a parachute on it. I was like, "Ooh, what's that?" He's like, "Oh, that's airborne." I said, "Whoa, can I do that?" He's like, "Well, that's not a job. It's it's a specialty. It's an add-on." And I was like, "All right, well, can I add that onto this?" He's like, "Yeah, we can add that onto this." And I was like, "Sweet." And so, next thing I know, I signed up for airborne infantry, and so I went to a basic, like I said, January 2003, to Fort Benning, Georgia. And I spent the next couple months doing basic, doing AIT, advanced infantry training. And then I went straight to airborne school. So I spent quite a while in Fort Benning, Georgia, because you do all of it there. And then once I graduated there, I got, quote unquote, the dream assignment. You can actually see it right here. Angle it to it's upside down. I can't bend my arm this way. 173rd Airborne. There it is. 173rd Airborne.
Why was that the dream assignment?
For the longest time, Vicenza, Italy. You're in a base in Italy. First of all, okay. Best food, best gorgeous women, and they weren't, because of the location. Okay. They're not a very, how do I say this? If you're in somewhere like Bragg or Benning, or like you're always in the field, you're always in training, you're always doing these things. Vicenza, or I should say Caserma, Italy, which is the base in Vicenza, Italy, is this tiny little base. Mm-hmm. It's built into the center of the city.
Okay.
You can walk like the perimeter of the base in like 45 minutes. Like you can walk it, the whole perimeter. It's very tiny. And so there was nowhere for us to train. So literally we'd only train like once a year. Well, prior to me getting there, they would train like once a year. They go to Germany for a couple weeks, go up into the mountains, in the woods, and train. But typically like there were no shoot house, there was no ranges, it was
because you were like in town.
Yeah. Like they had enough space for like the Burger King, the barracks, a chow hall, a small motor pool, and they had like the little zip lines for parachute training. Like that was it. That was the base. And So for a long time, it was a cakewalk. You didn't really do much, especially if you're infantry. You didn't really do much. We do classes during the day, maybe some combatives, but it was a chill gig. And on your off time, you're in fucking Italy. A lot of 3-day weekends, a lot of 4-day weekends. You tour the country. Like I said, the dream assignment. And of course, prior to me getting there, before Italy was on the euro, it was on the lira.
Yes.
When they were on the lira was very cheap compared to the US dollar. So what we got paid in dollars, you could transfer to lira and you were fucking rich. Like super rich. To the point where, let me explain to you. Like I said, tiny base. There was one gate to drive in and out, one gate to walk in and out. That was it. That's the entirety of the base. So on any given Friday night, you could walk out of the walk-in gate and there would be a parade, or a wall of women. I mean, dressed to the nines, ready to party. And they were just waiting for someone. Meaning, like, you could walk out and be like, hey, you, and you, let's roll. And you could, like, take these girls out. And it was very well known that the American, infantry, like, we were loaded and we love to spend money and we love to, this and that. And so, like, the first little bit I was there, it was great. Then they switched to the euro, and it was not good. And
you broke.
And we were very broke, and it would have been cheaper to buy things with dollars. And the line, the ocean of women turned into like a puddle of those really mucky fish with like the jaws and the unhinged look. So yeah, Jim says, what color was your Mustang? The Mustang came later. My car in Italy, no shit, I spent $2,000 on a 1984 Lancia Thema. Yeah. Lancia Thema. Yeah. That was I love that car, man. It was a 1984. I was only the second owner ever. Literally the same guy had owned it from 1984 until he gave it to me in 2004. What was that? 20 years? Jesus. Anyway. Where was I? So Italy was the dream assignment. Now, I say it was the dream assignment because for anybody that knows their airborne history, in March of 2003, they did this thing called the jump into Iraq. They jumped into Iraq, and it was not a fun time. It was not. The word was the 173rd Airborne was going to jump in. They were going to spend 3 weeks in country, securing drop zones and securing airports and securing all this stuff so that, big Air Force can come in, bring in the replacement troops, and then 173rd gets pulled out. We are the tip of the spear, right? We go in, boom, boom, fuck shit up, we get out. So everybody packed for 3 weeks. Everybody kissed their spouses goodbye for 3 weeks. And they were there for 15 months straight. It was not a good time. And from then on out, the 173rd was deployed every single other year. So 2003, 2005, 2007, 2009, for year-long deployments. This really messed up a lot of guys. It really, really, really messed up a lot of guys. So where I come in, like I said, I was in basic, and I got into basic in January. I was just leaving airborne school when they made the jump. And, I remember being in airborne school and watching the news and I remember vividly the picture, like the CNN or whatever it was, and the videos of Iraq just getting bombarded. We were doing the airdrops and dropping bombs and just lighting them up. And then I remember the footage of the guys jumping in from the 173rd, and I remember one of the guys was like, "Where'd you say you're getting shipped to?" I was like, 173rd. He's like, "Oh, that's not gonna be fun."
And I'll watch TV.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And so I finished airborne school. I got shipped over to 173rd. Literally, I got there, and it was a ghost town first of all, because everybody was shipped out. Literally, it was only like a small headquarters element that was basically just getting guys and shipping them out. And so, oh man, yeah, it was weird, and I was there for a couple. Did my in processing. It was like 2 weeks, and then another week to get organized, and then you have to wait for a shuttle that takes you to Aviano, which was the Air Force base in Italy, and then from there you get shipped over to Germany. In Germany, you get shipped over to like whatever it was, Kuwait, and Kuwait to the front lines. And so I ended up in Iraq a couple weeks later, and they put me to dude, it's the weirdest experience. For those that I can't explain it. Was I 19? I don't think I was 19 yet. I was like 18 and a half, almost 19. And here I am in Iraq in a war zone. For those that don't remember, 2003, like we were still fighting the Iraqi army. Like we were still fighting them. And so when I got there, like, I'm expecting, it's so funny what like your brain will tell you. Cause, here we are flying into Iraq, and I'm expecting like D-Day, fucking Saving Private Ryan style. Like, we're gonna land, the back's gonna open up, and there's just gunfire in every direction, and they're like, get down, and you like low crawl to your team and some shit. And obviously, that's not the case. It was a secured airfield, and I mean, safe is relative, but relatively safe. And so, and I remember I came off, and I'm like I'm all just ready for like some shit to go down, and some dude walked over to me. He's like, "All right, your name?" It's like filling out paperwork, and I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Am I in war now?" He's like, "Yeah, you're in the war."
Really calm down, Private.
Seriously, so green. And yeah, I mean, remember, I grew up in New York City, man. Like the first time I saw trees was in basic. Like there was I didn't know the woods were still a thing. Like I saw the woods, and I'm like, oh, from like the 1800s, yeah. Like I didn't know that most of the country. Yeah, I thought everybody was like New York. Public school systems, gotta love them. So I ended up in Iraq. They it was like a group of us, right? It's like 20, 30 of us strong, and they're like, all right, you're gonna be 508, you're gonna be 503rd, blah blah blah. And so it splits us, that cuts us in half. And then I'm standing with my group, and then like, all right, you're gonna be Alpha Company, you're gonna be Bravo Company, you're gonna be Charlie Company, right? So I'm off with my section. And like, all right, you guys get on this truck, you guys get on that truck, whatever. So I got a small couple of us get on this truck, and I remember we leave the this big safe base and drive for like a couple hours. We get off at this other outpost. And they're like, all right, you guys, all the Alpha Company guys, right? Yep, we're Alpha Company. Cool. All right, you two are gonna go, first platoon. You five are gonna go second platoon, whatever. And they split us up again. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, which way did I go? He goes, oh, you got to get on that truck. That truck's going to the next outpost. And so I get on the next truck. A couple hours later, get to the next outpost. I'm like, all right, hey, you guys are all second platoon guys. Yep. All right, you're gonna be fucking first squad. You're gonna be second squad. You're gonna be third squad. I'm like, all right, cool. Where's my guys at? Like, you gotta get in this car. we're gonna drive out. So it was just for getting further and further from like that entry point. And I remember it literally took an entire day to finally get. It was nighttime by the time we had got to where we're going, and it was like down to like, you started with like 30 of us coming in on the plane, and now there was like 2 of us. Mm-hmm. And then I get off, and they're like, all right, you're gonna replace this squad element, and you're replacing that squad element. And I remember I got there, and they're like, hey, you the new guy? I was like, yeah. You're right. And CQ, yeah. And oh, who are you gonna be with? I was like, second squad. And the guys all like literally, because what happened was there's like 2 guys sitting at the gate. Like at that point it was Kirkuk, Iraq. They had taken over like this old police station, Iraqi police station. So there was like a little gate and then like the little house. And so the guys at the gate, or I got there and they're like, hey, just the people you're gonna be with aren't here. They're out on a mission. So just hang with the guys at the gate. I said, okay, cool. And so that's what they asked me. They go, who are you gonna be with? I said, oh, they said I'm gonna be with second squad. And they went, oh. I was like, what? They're like, yeah. And for the sake of, I don't want to names. Let's call him Sergeant Assface. You know,
I
you're
wonder
gonna
where this story's
be
going.
you're gonna be with Sergeant Assface's team. Like, all right, cool. And they're like, yeah, man, feel sorry for you. I was like, all right. Like, dude, at this point, I'm in country in the dark, standing in this like city we've taken over at a police station at a gate. I had never, at this point, never touched a pair of night vision goggles. You would think that we did that in basic. We did not. We skipped that course. You know, I hadn't even loaded around in my weapon yet. And so, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. And so, you know, it was a very. I think another day I'll tell you guys the real like hard. There was a very steep learning curve. I've got some incredible stories about how, you know, the first time I'd ever gotten a Humvee, it was during a night operation that they asked me to drive, and it was also the first time I used night vision too. So that was a fun mission. First time behind the wheel of an Humvee, and with first time using night vision on one of my very first missions in the dark, in, you know, hostile
So
terrain.
we have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Basically.
Sure.
So you spent all this time going to airborne school, learn how to jump out of planes and stuff, and do all that things, right?
Mhm.
So how come you got to Iraq and then got in a truck and drove there? There's several trucks. Actually.
That's yeah. That's two. That is true. That is
Just
true. The airborne.
It almost sounds like you were a leg. I'm just fucking with you.
No, yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. Fair point. I missed.
Almost like once you hit the ground, you're just the same with everyone else.
Yeah, I missed the first airborne assault since what, Vietnam? You know what I mean? I didn't. It kills me to this day that I didn't get to jump in. I got there a couple weeks later. Like, I did the entire deployment. I did the entire deployment minus 3 weeks.
The fun part.
Yeah.
Minus the fun part.
Trust me, not fun. Honest to God. So I've spoken with many of the guys that were there. It was the worst because like, you're jumping into a combat zone. You are the first men. Now, obviously, there was like special forces had cleared the area. There wasn't really, but you know, they don't tell the guys that, right? Like, there was a secure drop zone, but they don't tell you that. They're like, yeah, you're jumping in fucking combat. You be ready. So it's pitch black. You can't see anything. And of course, the geniuses that had planned this picked a day where it had been raining for 2 weeks straight. The ground was like 6 feet of mud. So these dudes were like lawn darts, just, and then you got the chute that you're like trying to pull in, and it's just absorbing all this muck. And they were covered head to toe in this nasty stuff. And then remember, there's no bases. There's no latrines. Like, they spent the next couple of weeks, because the first objective was to secure the airfield. Because they landed in Bashur, and then they moved up to take I forgot the name of the airfield, but you know. So anyway, the first couple of weeks were hell, and honestly, the fact that I missed that part, I feel like put me off on the wrong foot, because these guys, remember, they had a brotherhood, right? These guys had been training for months. They knew about this deployment. They were getting ready for it. You know, they were doing all this stuff. They hit the ground, like they hit the suck. They sucked it up. They lost guys in those first couple of weeks to, you know, you're fighting back a literal army. This wasn't, you know, this is before really the guerrilla warfare. This is back when they still had an army. So there was a lot of fighting, and now here I come, like, hey guys, I'm here to play army, and like, I missed the jump, I missed the suck, and so there was a little hostility towards your boy CQ, because I'm the new guy, and I didn't have to do all the tough stuff those first couple of weeks. Obviously, over the next couple of months, we built that bond, and I earned my keep because of all the shit we went through. But it's also a very hard experience knowing that there's a spot open on that squad that you're replacing.
Right.
Because the person's not there anymore. A person that they have trained with and loved and fought with and bled with. And so it's never a good feeling. Like, you come in, like, I'm gung-ho. I'm like, all right, let's do this, squad. They're like, who the fuck are you? Like, you don't know what we've been through. You don't know who we lost, so you could be standing here. So that was there was a bit of a trial there. And we'll do another story time someday, and I'll go into some of the just craziest shit that happened that first deployment. But that's not what we're here to talk about, and I've taken way too long to talk about it.
Yeah, something's distracting you. Okay, so you're in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
You're hanging out. Then what?
I mean,
the first deployment. You've been on multiple deployments?
Yeah, 2.
Okay, so that first deployment. How long were you deployed the first
time? So the whole team was there for, it was like 15 months. So I would have been there for 14.
How long was Private CQ hanging out in Iraq?
Well, I wasn't Private CQ when I got out of there, but that's a whole different story. For about 14 months. About 14 months. So we returned back to Italy April of 2004. Yes. April 2004. And I'll never forget that literally we obviously bounce around from place to place to place, get to Germany, boom, 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 and then got to Aviano in Italy. We're getting on the buses to go to our base, and as we're loading up the buses, we're like, oh my God, we did it. We're fucking alive. We made it home. And I remember, our platoon sergeant and our first sergeant got up in the front of the bus, and they're like, hey, you guys earned this. Fucking enjoy it. Live it up. But just know we've already got our orders. Next year we're going to Afghanistan. And it's like, fuck, what a buzzkill to just spend over a year in Iraq, come on the bus, and the guys are about to see their loved ones and about to do this, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, the clock starts now. You're going to Afghanistan. And it's just like, God damn. So it is what it is. So to get to the point of this,
then you're setting up. You're getting ready to go to Afghanistan.
Yep. Okay. A lot happened in that year. I'd already
training,
getting ready, doing all the stuff. Lots of crazy adventures.
Like a period of instruction on how to drive a Humvee and how to operate MVGs and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. I got the classes I needed. Learned squad tactics and whatnot. And so we were set to go to Afghanistan. We left February of 2005. And we knew ahead of time it's going to be a year. And again, I'll skip over a lot of the stories from those first couple of months, but about 6 months into that tour, and it's a bummer because I was days away. So everybody gets a 2-week, when you do a year deployment, you get a 2-week R&R. They'll send you like to Kuwait or whatever, where you can just relax or cut loose, whatever. I was days away from my R&R. Like literally, I think it might have been 3 days away from my R&R. And we had basically through intelligence, and I got to be careful because of what I can say and what I can't say, blah, blah, blah. But through intelligence, we had found out we were in, oh, that sounds terrible. No, we knew where we were. We were on the eastern border of Afghanistan, right on the Pakistan border, practically. A little place called Paktika and Wazikwa, for anybody that knows. And so we had been operating in a very dangerous area. Some people might know Restrepo. That was the documentary that was done about the 173rd. That was not my deployment. That was the deployment after, where they were put into literally the worst place in the world you can be, the most deadliest fucking fighting area. Great documentary. You should watch it. Those are guys that I fought with. They're awesome. But our deployment, we were in the right on the border of Pakistan, and we knew that's where Al Qaeda had been kind of coming across the border, and like we knew, fucking Osama bin Laden was over in Pakistan. Like we knew that. We had all heard about it. Like this is years before they found him and killed him. Like we knew about it, but there's nothing you can do about it. Can't go into Pakistan. Funny story about how we invaded Pakistan at one point accidentally. I'll get to that story another time. So we had been there about 6 months, and fighting here and there, missions here and there. We get intel that like one of Osama bin Laden's top lieutenants, like one of his right hand men, was in our AO. He was in our area.
Was he driving a white Great Wall pickup?
I don't believe so.
Oh.
He's like riding a camel, I think. I don't know.
Right,
this is way out in the boonies. Way out in the boonies. a vehicle stands out. Like that's how far out into the Ozarks we were that a vehicle would stand out.
Was it a white sedan with orange fenders?
Could have been. Could have been.
Yes.
Could have been.
We were always on the lookout for those as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So be it our amazing leadership decided we're gonna put on this like operation to capture this guy. Like this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be the guy, or we're gonna be the guys to get the guy. And so basically, like he would go to a town, try to recruit or intimidate or whatever it is they were doing. He'd make phone calls and intel would ping his cell, and we'd load up, take the birds in, whatever it is, fast rope in, come in, jump out, whatever it is, however we hit the ground, kick in doors, try to find the guy. So day one we do this. We just missed him. Just got out of town before we got there. Day two we do this. Same thing. Just missed him. Day three we do this. Like we keep missing this guy. So finally, in the infinite wisdom of our leadership, they go, well, we're just missing him. And it's because we get the call, we tell the guys, they get together, they they gear up, they run out to the birds, they take off, we're wasting time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay geared up and we're gonna sit on those birds. So that way the second we get the call, we're up in the air. Mm-hmm. So great idea. So we spent like the next, I think it was like 47 hours, like just sitting there, and you could only walk off the flight line to like go hit the head or grab some chow. Like we were eating chow out of like, our little, whatever, takeout trays or whatever. And we did nothing else. We just sat there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stay frosty. And so we were literally hours away from just calling it and going, all right, this guy, he left and he's whatever. Well, we get the call. We got his location. So within, it's got to be 4 minutes, we are up in the air and we are hungry. We are ready to go. We are locked. We're loaded. We are so hard.
I thought you meant like hangry, like those DFAC fucking to-go plates were not.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Grab a rip it and go, boys.
That's right. And so we're up in the air. We're shooting out and we're hauling ass to get to this guy. There was 2 main elements. My Blackhawk, another Blackhawk with another team, and then I think we had 2 Apache support, just kind of flying locally that we knew about. And so I'm sitting at the door. At this time, I'm a whatever you want to call it, team leader, not a squad leader, but team leader. And I'm sitting at the door and I'm like hanging out because we fly with the doors open. I'm looking out, and we have the headsets on. The pilots look back and they're like, "Hey, 2 minutes." And so typically, as we're flying in, if I get the word 2 minutes, I'm gonna lean out, I'm gonna assess the situation, I'm gonna determine like if this is a town that has ample place to land, we're gonna land and just charge out. If it's a place that doesn't have space to land, well, we hook up the ropes and we fast rope down. Mm-hmm. When I looked out, I just saw rolling hills, nothing. No sign of a town, no sign of a village. All these things that you would typically see at about 2 minutes, you can start to make out like what it is, and I can give my team like, hey, and we're communicating over the radio like, hey, Alpha team's gonna go this way, Bravo team's gonna go this way, we're gonna go this way. Like we have all our battle drills. We know this. We've done this hundreds of times. We know what we're doing. And I look out and I see nothing, and I see my team looks at me, and I'm just like, I got nothing for you. I see nothing. I can't give you intel I don't have. So we get closer. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's like just over a hillside. There's a small camp or something like that, and that's where we're going. So we're getting closer. Guy goes 30 seconds. Look out. Nothing. Just hills. And now I'm starting to get that kind of pit in my stomach like, this is different. And so I look at again, and I'm like, I got nothing. I got nothing. At this start, I'm starting to think, oh my God, what if like, because you hear the stories, right? They have these little hidey holes. They have these little spider caves where they dig in, and this is where they camp and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, man, we might have a legit like encampment. Like we might be going into a cave right now And so I'm starting to tell the team, like, hey guys, we got to be frosty. We don't know what we're gonna hit. Like, we got to hit the ground, you know, and look for caves and all this and all that. Finally, the guy goes, we're here, and I look down. We're on like a hillside. There's nothing. There's just nothing. Just, trees and rocks and things, but no sign of life. And so it was all hills, very hilly. There was nowhere safe to land the birds. And you can't land obviously you can't land on a hill because helicopter will roll. That's bad. So, and like very, very steep hills, And so
like a mountain.
Yeah, these are like, yeah, you're right. Not a hill. These were mountain peaks, big old valleys in between them. And so, like, we're like, well, you know, and so the pilots kind of came to a hover over, and we were only about 12 feet off the ground. I'm like, I'm not going to rope up for that. We're airborne. We're used to taking, like, we drop from the sky. We're used to taking a big hit on landing. So I was like, hey, we're just going to jump. And I jumped. I just went over, jumped out. I ate shit on the landing. Terrible landing.
Shit, huh? Use the rope.
Yeah.
Maybe just in the 101st. They don't use ropes.
There you go.
Just saying.
Yeah. So I ate shit on the landing.
They're into bondage or something, I think. That's why they're so big on ropes.
And so...
Is that a BDSM thing?
Yeah.
That's why that eagle's screaming.
Hey, man, we're running out of time for the story.
Yeah, we'll keep going with the story.
So I ate shit on the landing. I remember, like, I got up. I was just like, fuck. And I was like all pissed. I was like, God damn it. Like, dusting myself off. And I could hear my other guys dropping out and hitting the ground. And like,
I'm mad at you. God damn it, Soren. We made someone's fucking airplane.
I just did. Boom. And I was just like, oh, whatever. And I for a moment, I look back and I see the last guy exiting.
Mm.
And right away, something in my head, like Spidey sense, is tingling. Because he took like a weird exit. Not like a traditional kind of jump out, but kind of almost like he stumbled out. And then just, boom, landed flat. And I see him grabbing his leg. And I'm thinking, oh, shit. This guy trips out the fucking bird. He broke his leg or he dislocated it. And I'm like, this is going to be paperwork. This is going to be, we got to call in. We got to.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
I'm like,
in fucking combat, and the first thing you do is fucking paperwork. Yeah, thanks, Big Army. That's the big green weenie in fucking action right there.
So I'm like, fuck me. And now, for those that don't know, an infantry squad, you've got two teams. The other team landed on another hillside. Like hillside A, hillside B, they landed on another one, the opposite side of another one. So we had two teams on our bird, and in each team you always have one guy who's like the CLS, the combat lifesaver, not a medic, just somebody who sat through a class on like how to give an IV, how to splint a leg, how to do a sucking chest wound, just actions to provide immediate aid so that a medic can get to them. Right? It's like combat lifesaver. It's life-saving measures just to hold them together so that a medic can take care of them. So I have my little med bag, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to splint this guy's leg. I'm already running through this stuff in my head. And as I'm walking to him to be like, fucking Christ, we got to fix this, the helicopter peels away, and that's when I hear him screaming, I'm hit. And now I hear da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I realize, holy shit, we're being shot at. And I could see now that, because you've been around helicopters, the wash and like smoke and everything's going all crazy. As soon as he pulled away, now I can see that poof, 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 like as the rocks and dust popping all around us. And
were the fucking door gunners not giving you a hand or what?
The door gunner actually got shot. He was shot, and that's why they pulled away.
That's a better excuse.
They pulled away at top speed. That's why because usually they would hover for a little while, give us, like you said, some cover. They took shots and immediately pulled off. Yeah. And so
pilots do that, though. In all fairness,
my
helicopter is expensive. Or whatever, chief. Fuck that.
Yeah, they're not used to getting bullets flying at them. Whizzing by them. So in that moment, like time freezes. And I'm like, okay, I can see he's down out in the open, and I can see all the little impacts around him. And I think about, like, there's a big old rock over there, opposite direction. That's cover and concealment. And in an instant, I make the decision, and it's something that you could say, oh, it's brave and whatever. It's what we're trained to do. That's right. It. Period, point blank. Anybody would do it. I run out to him, and I grab him, and I start trying to, drag him away from the gunfire. At this point, I don't know which direction the gunfire is even coming from. I'm just reacting and thinking, that's safe over there. That's not safe over there. So I'm dragging him that way. Now, at that point, he all of a sudden feels very heavier. And this is hard to explain, but I was dragging him, and then it was as if he got stuck. And in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, he's stuck. So I'm just trying to pull harder. And so I like sling my weapon, and I grab him with the other hand. I'm like, start dragging him again. And I'm like, man, he's so much heavier now. Like he, I don't know. I don't know why. What I hadn't realized is I had been shot in my left bicep, the one that I was dragging with. And so I had shattered the bone completely through, severed like a couple of the nerves, and it was just really bad damage. And so, but happening fast, adrenaline's going, don't even realize I've been shot. So I'm dragging him with the other arm. And almost to cover, again, he gets heavier. He gets way heavier. Didn't realize it. I'd been shot through this shoulder, and it had completely obliterated my shoulder. The bullet had went in, went up, hit my clavicle, hit my shoulder, exited out my back with all those things following suit. So I didn't have a shoulder anymore. And so that's why I'm like dragging him with two basically disconnected arms. So got him back to safety. I said, fucking stay down, and I know what to do. I've done this a million times. And so I'm popping up, trying to assess the situation. Okay, my guy's there. And I go to lift my weapon, and it was like two noodles. I'm just like, like trying to lift up my weapon, and my brain is not comprehending what's happening and why I can't lift up my weapon. And I remember even for a split second going like, am I in shock? That's weird, because we've done this before, and I've never been in shock before. Come on, work. And in that instance of thinking that, I got shot twice in the chest. Once in the heart, once lower right abdomen area. And so, and real quick, I'm going to share some pictures. Now I'm going to share some pictures. I've had to, in order for us to not get taken off the airwaves, I've had to blur some of the more gory aspects. So there's nothing crazily gory, but it is pictures that might be upsetting to some viewers. Just letting you know. So I'm going to keep talking. So at that point, I got shot in the chest. I was blown off my feet, and I'm now laying on my back going, wait, what the hell just happened? That's the vest I was wearing. You can kind of see the bullet hole that like hit me straight through the front of the chest. And that's the blood. That's all the blood that came out the back of my back after my shoulder was completely taken away from my body. So I was shot. I'm laying there, and I'm like my brain's telling me, okay, get up. And my body just shut down. It was like, nope, you're done. Take a nap. But I was conscious. I just couldn't move. My body completely shut down. That's the glove I was wearing. Oh, that's the most gory thing you'll see here, because everything's gonna be blurred. But, which, by the way, if you guys are interested in actually seeing the unblurred pictures, I'm curious how I could share that with you without us getting taken off the airways. But I don't know. I have a Patreon. Maybe I'll put it up on my Patreon page or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out. This was in Afghanistan.
Who took the pictures of you, like, in the hospital?
Okay, so yeah, so real quick, this is not in a hospital. This is literally minutes after, I don't want to say minutes, very soon after I'd been shot. This is like a flight line mud hut that they are performing major surgery in. It basically
some sort of trauma kind of unit, whatever.
It was like, it's a mud hut. In one of the pictures you can see the wall is like tan and like mucky. It's a literal mud hut that they built right on the flight line. So So I've been shot. I'm laying down.
Hey, trim your fingernails, dude.
Well, yeah.
Oops.
Combat, man.
What's whatever.
So I'm laying there and like I'm I'm hit, I'm down, and one of my best friends, the other combat lifesaver guy in the group, kind of runs over to me, and real Mexican dude, man, thick accent Mexican dude, love him to death, and he like leans over me, he's like, oh shit, Sigur's hit, and so like he starts patting me down, he's trying to find, I'm like. He's like, oh, he's bleeding. And I'm like, all right, where am I? Like, I'm trying to talk him through. I'm like, where am I bleeding? He's like, fucking everywhere. I'm like, oh, shit, that's not good. And, you know, he starts patting me down and I'm like, he's like trying to put tourniquets on me and do all the different things. But I could tell, like, I couldn't feel pain yet, but I could tell something was wrong in my shoulder. Like, I felt uncomfortable. It felt like my shoulder was on a boulder that was sticking into my back. And so I told him, I was like, hey man, check my back, something feels wrong. And so he slides his hand, like where you see that bloody back, like he slides his hand in and immediately yanks it out, and it's just soaking with blood. And I'm like, and he's like, oh my God, there's a hole. I'm like, well, how big's the hole? And he basically just balls his fist, and he's like about that big. And I'm like, oh God, because I remember training, bullet entry holes, kind of small. Bullet exit holes, kind of big. Kind of the reason a guy bleeds out. Not good. So basically I had him, you know, he ripped off my armor. And right there, by the way, this is happening while there is a gunfight ensuing. They had the high ground. They had the element of surprise. You know, they ambushed us. They were waiting for us. This was all a setup for them to get the drop on us. Now, they didn't account on us having Apache support. And so my team doing what they knew they had to do, plus the team on the other hillside providing some cover fire on top of the Apaches just laying waste to the hillside. They got the upper hand throughout the firefight. But all this is happening while explosions are going. Like, it would have been cool if this was a movie. Like, it would have been way badass. So, you know, he's like shoving Kerlex, like the little cotton stuff, into my back, and he's, you know, patching me up as best as he can while I'm over here bleeding to death. And we got a few more minutes, and I'm going to try to wrap this up as fast as I can, and then if you guys enjoy this, we'll do another story time another day. Just let me know and we'll do it. If you didn't like it, whatever. So, you know, he's patching me up. Another one of the guys runs over, and he's like, oh shit, what can I do to help? And so they're trying to take care of me and get me ready. I'll never forget this, you know, this Mexican kid. He's a private, right? He was a PFC, I think, at the time. And he yells over to our platoon sergeant. He's like, hey, we got to get CQ out of here, man. He's going to die. Like, he's bleeding today. He's going to die. And the platoon's like, hey, it's too hot. We got to, you know, we can't bring the birds back in. They're not going to come back in. And this PFC's like, if you don't fucking get those goddamn birds back here right now, he's going to fucking die right here. And damn it, if the platoon sergeant was like, all right, they called it in. And so the birds kind of circle back. Now, the problem is we were under direct threat. There was still gunfire. They had to land, like, not even land. They were hovering way downhill. Now, my head was uphill. My body was kind of facing downhill. So I could lift my neck and look downhill. And I saw this. This was like a micro machine. It looked like this big, that goddamn big ass Black Hawk. And I was like, oh, that's a long way to go. And these guys, God bless them, they start unrolling a Skidco, which is basically, you know, the mesh, you know, thing that you put on a body and then you use to like carry a body. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, we're going to drag you. You got to stay down. I'm like, if you drag me across downhill, this rocky ass, dirty ass, like if you drag me, I will die and bleed out before we get to that helicopter. I'm like, you got to pick me up. We got to run this. And they're like, no, there's no way. I mean, again, gunfire, explosions, grenades, rockets, whatever. You know, fucking hellfire missiles from Apaches going off everywhere. And I'm like, dude, we're gonna run this. We're gonna run. And so I'm like, I swear to God, if you don't do that, like, I'm gonna die. And so they rip off my gear, rip off my helmet, and pick me up, arm under each guy, and we just haul ass down this mountain. And they get me to the bird. I mean, like, we covered like 3 football fields in the blink of an eye. And my guys doing what they were supposed to be doing, laying down cover fire, covering us as they got me out of there. So within I don't know 10 minutes, 15 minutes of me being shot, I'm already on the bird. Luckily, we had a flight medic with us. It was one of the rare times we actually had a flight medic with us, and he immediately starts just going to work on me right there. I've never seen a helicopter go that fast. This thing went like it went like vertical. Like it was just, I remember the doors were both open and like the world was sideways. And I was just like, holy shit, we are moving. Which we're in the mountains at, I think it was like 16,000 feet. And like they're stripping me naked on the floor of a metal craft. It got cold very quickly. And I just remember, shaking and cold, and they hit me with the morphine. And then, I felt pretty good after that. I was pretty cool with it. And I know we're running out of time, guys. I obviously I made it. I'm here. There's a lot more to the story as far as my medical procedures, how long I spent 2 years in the hospital, recovering, 44 surgeries, died twice. They had to bring me back. We'll do all that on another edition of CQ Story Time. Whew. But we're going to take a short break so I can get my breath, and we can all decompress, and then we can have a really fun pop culture conversation with our guests, Frankly Built, Frank from the channel Frankly Built. We good? You good, Radar?
Hell yeah, I'm good. I just been on mute. I didn't realize I was coughing, so I was on mute. Sorry about it.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Let me know in the chats what you think of the story. If you'd like me to do another story time, and there's a lot more fun stories, hilarious stories, ridiculous stories, terrifying stories, scary stories. We have all the time in the world to get through this stuff. So, all right, guys, We'll see you after a short break. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio. Sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Warrior. Oh, I'm excited for this next one. Oh my god, I'm so excited. For those of you that don't know, obviously, I got the camera's acted up. Obviously, I'm a big lover. I'm of all the antiques and the props. Antiques, oh my god. The props and the collectibles and all the fun things that we get to have. My next guest is I feel weird saying YouTube star, but when you've got a following of like over 250,000, I think it's fine. You can say YouTube star. He's a cosplayer. He's a content creator. He's a master prop builder. Man, I don't even want to waste any more time. I just kind of want to dive right into it because there's so many cool things we're going to talk about. Guys, ladies, everybody, you at home, give it up for my guest, Frank from Frankly Built. Yay! This is like, imagine an applause thing, like,
I always have applause. There's always applause going in my head. It's fine.
There you go. Dude, oh my god! First of all, thank you so much for being on the show, man. This is such a cool thing, man. Thank you for taking.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. This is a cool thing to do. So thank you.
Okay. Man, literally my head is spinning right now. I'm like, I've got to brace myself because I have so many questions and so many things I want to understand and learn. But first and foremost, I always ask all of my guests, what is your connection to the military?
Wait, this is a military thing? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
Oh no. I am Air Force, active duty Air Force. I'm specifically a jet engine mechanic on the F-15s. That's pretty much it. It's I've been in for coming up on 9 years. October will be my 9-year mark of enlisted active duty.
Fantastic, man. And you've been around the world. I mean, obviously we don't want to break any rules here, Tom, but you.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't been stationed anywhere like hush hush. Like I had a pretty good Air Force career so far. I spent 8 of those. We just moved back stateside. I was at Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa, Japan, for my first 4 years, and then we spent the next 4 years in England. So I've had a pretty good tour. And we just moved back to I know. Well, hey.
4 of my years were in Italy, so I mean, I'm no one to judge.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, there you go. There you go.
Mine was better than yours. It's fine. Whatever. No, man, that's so cool, man. What an awesome opportunity. We have Air Force veterans and people in the audience, and I have my sister-in-law is in the Air Force, and 2 of my other family members are joining the Air Force. So respect your service. Thank you from us. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, dude. Thank you.
All right, let's get into the real shit now. Like you, obviously, your background. We can see it clearly. This is amazing work. I have seen your I don't know how many times I'm scrolling through Facebook, I'm scrolling through Twitter, I'm scrolling through Reddit, all these different places, and I keep seeing like this Iron Man suit and these helmets and these things, and I'm thinking like, God damn, like where can I buy something like that? And then to find out like, oh, this is this guy that just made it in his, like he was just like, I'm gonna make an Iron Man suit, and it fucking it works, it functions, it lights up, it shoots lasers, it does all these crazy things, you know, it flies, it does everything, it makes toast.
Hey man, you weren't supposed to tell people about the lasers. Like, come on, I thought you gotta chill out there.
It's true, fair enough. It makes toast, it's awesome. But like let's backtrack it, because I wanna understand the man behind Frankly Built. How did you, and I should let you know, I've done the homework. I dug into you a bit. I learned some things, but I'm gonna steer this conversation because I learned some things that I think the audience would love to know about you. How did you, like, where did your love for, you know, the Iron Man suit, the props, the equipment, where did that start for you?
I've always been a nerd. I don't know if it was the friends I grew up with in, you know, elementary school, high school. You know, they make you, they mold you. But Marvel kind of specifically started with my dad, and he was a comic book fan. He kind of got me into the movies. First Iron Man movie was coming out, right? And okay, yeah, we'd seen the Spider-Man movies. We'd done that. And he's like, hey, bud, I think I was 13 at the time. He's like, let's go to the movies. Let's go watch this. I didn't know who Robert Downey Jr. was. I didn't really even know who Iron Man was. Went, saw the movie, and was like, well, I think I left that movie theater the same way a lot of kids did. And that would be amazing. Who didn't want a suit? Who wouldn't want their own Iron Man suit, you know? But again, I was like 13 years old, so that's not happening. Unless I was actually Tony Stark at the time, but whatever. And it just kind of went from there. I kind of started to get really into the MCU, and it was fun always watching the movies because my dad knew a lot about the comics. He grew up with them. So, like, it was nice comparing, oh, hey, they did this in the movie, and oh, no, well, this was how it was in the comics. And I'll never forget him talking about actually Captain America. We found out that they were making a live-action Captain America film. And I remember him saying to me vividly, he's like, I don't know how they're going to do that. Captain America is about killing the shit out of Nazis. Like, how are they going to do that? And they did it, you know, they toned it down the right way, left-turned it with Hydra a little bit, and they pulled it off. So it was cool to watch him be able to see these movies, you know, big screen. So a lot of them we would go to the premieres of, go to the theaters too. And I started to really like the MCU, but just that, I don't know, the Iron Man suit was just, I thought it was cool. Like, that'd be so cool to have one day.
Right.
And it kind of stayed dormant for a while. And then I kind of, you know, did the whole car thing. I was a car guy. I went to school for it a little bit, modified, worked at a shop. And I always felt like I knew how to do everything but make the suit. Like, I knew I was good with, like, electronics on cars and wiring and painting and fiberglassing and metalwork and welding. Like, I had learned all this stuff working on cars. I just needed the canvas, I guess you could say, you know. So it just kind of started with that, like, passion of just enjoying something with my dad, or, you know, just being a nerd.
Right on. And it fascinates me because, you know, as you were just saying, and as I was reading about you, and you didn't know there's information out there about you.
Oh, I know. Yeah, task and purpose. Thanks.
No, there's like, there's such, I'm fascinated because, I don't know, without you really knowing, you were kind of building up these skills that would eventually lead you down the path. Because
Exactly.
Here's the thing. I know. I've heard you say it before, and I've heard you like you can buy a 3D printer. You can do this too, and that's true. But there's a lot of skills that you have developed. Yeah, I watched, man. I watched the painting videos you did on like how finding the right paint and using like sure, I could print out a helmet.
I try to temper that. I always try to temper that with people because you see YouTubers, you'll see people do that where they're kind of just trying to sell you something or downplaying certain aspects of it. I know unintentionally sometimes I probably put off that, like, yeah, look at this cool Iron Man helmet. You can make it too. But there's only so much you can say in like a 60-second TikTok. There's only so much you can do in an Instagram post. Right. So it's gonna put off the wrong. I can't cram it all in one picture. Like you can make an Iron Man suit, but you need to get a 3D printer. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. But I always try to be level-headed with people. Like I have a leg up in painting. I used to build Gundam models. I'm good at hand painting that fine detail and stuff. I'm just ahead of you. I'm not better than you. There's a difference there, and I think projecting that in the right way is. You got to be careful with it. I'm not better than anybody can do this. I'll say it right now. Like it's just how much time you want to put into it. I just got a head start on it. That's all.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Like, yeah. And that was kind of my point. Is that where you have a certain ability, you've learned a certain practice through like your welding techniques, your sanding techniques, and obviously, right, we make mistakes and we get better, whatever. But like you did have a background knowledge or a background experience and all these little things that built this up. My point was more that like where somebody else, like you were saying, would take that and go like, look, I built this Iron Man suit, you can too, and discount like all the skills that went into it, all the little details that went into it. You, on the other hand, have built a YouTube channel that breaks it all down. You do the tutorials, you do the how-tos, the walkthroughs, the guides, and break down every step. And like this is in a world of social media where like information is key, right? Like the guy that holds the secret, right? He's the successful one, and he's gonna guard that because you can't. Like you've been like, look, this worked for me. Here you go. Like you've put it all out there, man.
Yeah, somebody said that to me. I mean, and I've always been cognizant of it, especially I sell props on the side too. Like I do. I sell props on the side. It helps fund all of this. Sure. It continues to. But it's funny because I'm always kind of working against myself because I want to sell you that Captain America shield, right? But then you can go to my channel and figure out what printer I use, what paint I used, how to make. Like I show you. So yeah. I'm always kind of working against myself, but I've never cared. I think it's fun, and typically the people I'm selling these things to aren't the people who want to make and print them. It's a completely different demographic. Right. The people I'm selling these things to have FU money, and they don't care. They can't be what, a couple $100, whatever. Give me the thing. They don't care. Where then there's the other side of it, the hobbyists who want to learn how to do this, and those are my people. So
yeah, no, absolutely. You definitely, like, to me, it's a very clear, distinct line. There's two separate businesses. There is the I'm gonna teach you how to do this, and hey, if you just like to buy stuff, like I don't know, me, like I could just go in and buy stuff.
You're honestly a perfect target demographic. If I was to, hey, because I do make a couple things you can't buy, certain broken shields and certain types of helmets. Granted, you could buy them from someone else who makes them, but you can't just hop on Amazon and get it from Marvel.
They're not licensed Marvel products. See, I only buy. No offense, I only buy licensed products. I don't. No, just kidding.
Oh, that sucks. That sounds terrible, honestly.
I have good friends of mine, and I hope they're watching that are like super into 3D printing. So I'm very aware of kind of what goes into it, and I mean it's simple, but it's not simple, right? Like there's a learning curve, and you've got like there's a lot.
If that didn't make sense to anybody, you've never 3D printed, because that actually made, like, that was a perfect description of it. Like it's simple, but it's not simple. Yeah. And there's always towing that line of gatekeeping. The community's weird. It's a good community, great, definitely. Like 3D printing community is great, but it's always a weird line of, again, selling the wrong picture. Oh yeah, get the printer, hit go, look, ooh, Iron Man suit. No, but you don't want to also scare people off, being like, well, then you got to do this and you got to do that, and oh shit, you got to do that. So you kind of have to be careful. It's a balance of not trying to scare people away, but it isn't for everybody. People are gonna get frustrated. People are gonna give up. It's a hobby. Not everybody's a brain surgeon. Not everybody likes building engines for cars. It's
Yeah, you want to learn the piano, you start tickling it, and then you're like, this is stupid. I'm out of here.
I hate this. Whatever. Pick up a guitar.
It is what it is. You play Guitar Hero instead, and you're like, I did an instrument.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we've got a live audience, guys. If you have questions for Frank about prop building, cosplaying, and his Air Force, I don't know, his Air Force experience, I don't care. Whatever you have. Go ahead and ask them, and I will read them in the chats, and I'll get our guests to answer them while they're typing away. I'm curious, man, dude, there's so many questions. Like, it's so fascinating to me. Like first of all, I have seen many lists of cosplayers, and I'm curious your thought on this. You rank among the best. Like, I pulled at least 10 different articles, and if you weren't the first place, you were like in that top 2, top 3.
Where are you looking?
I'll send you the links. I will send you.
Me those?
I will absolutely. I will send them to you. They exist. I mean, and you're going up against like the greats in cosplaying. They've been doing this for dozens of years, and I know you bought your first printer in like 2019, and really just. Like, let's be honest. Like, you just started, really.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, I just broke my 2-year mark. July was my 2-year mark of having my first printer. And I kind of, honestly, for the first 6 months, I kind of slacked. I was learning the printer. It was kind of a side thing. I had the plan to make the suit, and I think I uploaded to YouTube. Back then, my YouTube channel was still a car channel, and I uploaded occasional 3D printing videos. Like, it's weird how things take a left turn sometimes.
Yeah,
but,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's never thought about that, or I don't know. I don't Google myself maybe as much as people might think. I mean, I'll run my own name, my personal name sometimes, just to be like, make sure there's nothing crazy out there. But
fair enough.
I don't know.
Fair enough. I mean, I think my point was that what an achievement. That
I appreciate it, man.
And what I find fascinating about it is you'll read about cosplayers, and it was about like, I sewed my own costume, or like, I learned to bend. Here we go. I learned to bend the foam, and like all these different things, and you're coming from it much like Iron Man, right? I'm going to draw some parallels here. You're coming at it from a mechanical standpoint. You're constructing.
That's fair.
You're constructing from where there was nothing and literally creating. Do you ever get, maybe, I don't want to say hate, that's the strong word, but do you ever get people like, well...
Oh, no, you can say it. You can say it.
You're not a real cosplayer. Okay, I'm curious.
Yeah. It is a topic in the community, the cosplay community, 3D printing community. There are conventions, certain Comic-Con conventions, typically smaller ones that can afford to be stingy or not afford, I don't know, who won't let you enter 3D printed cosplay unless you can prove that you're the one that modeled it and you're the one who designed that 3D file, or they just ban it outright because some people do. It's that, and I'll say it, it's that gatekeeping fashion. Now, I respect that we're going to say person A, hand cut and crafted their foam Iron Man suit, right? And it might look better than mine. In the end, it looked better than mine. They put more hours into it. But without being an asshole, I don't care how much time you put into it. Because if we're both going for the nicest finished product we can get, I got there quicker and easier. It's a final, but I'm not saying my way was better. It was different. And right. I think that's where people get confused with, oh, well, you just printed it. Well, yeah, I just printed it. So it was easier. And I was able to get to that end goal quicker. Why would I torture myself going the harder way just to say I made it by hand? But at the same time, you probably used templates for your Iron Man suit that somebody else made in Pepicura or Papercraft or foam. You probably didn't mix your own paints. You bought them from a store. You probably, you didn't really If you want to go with I made my own stuff, you didn't. You can always peel that onion back far enough. I just did it a different way. We're all trying to get to that same end goal. That's it. Like, I wanted an Iron Man suit, and this was the path I saw that get me there quickest. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, why take the harder path if you don't need to? Now, there's some cosplays you can't 3D print. You need to do foam. You need to do paper craft. You need to do fiber. Like, that's it. You know, it's just, it was a different way to get to that goal. And I think once people start accepting that, it lowers that entry level. I tried to do paper craft. I tried for a few weeks to make a helmet out of paper and fold it. I gave up. I couldn't do it. And I respect the absolute crap out of people who can make paper craft. But I saw 3D printing mechanically, and I'm like, let's try that. And again, it was getting that canvas, right? It was getting that, if I just had the suit to sand and build and attach and paint and do the electronics, I can do this. And I did it. If I didn't have that 3D printer, it would have been a whole different approach, and I might have never done it because I couldn't do the paper. So it lowers that entry point of people wanting to make their literal dreams come true. You can just print an Iron Man helmet and then, you know, have everything in your background. You can do it now. Kids don't need to learn how to 3D model or cut foam or fold paper and work with fiber. That bar of entry just dropped significantly for being able to make all this cool shit. I love that.
It's such a good point. Yeah, I would have never even considered that, because in my opinion, who am I? I'm some nobody. But in my opinion, like the fact that, okay, you didn't create the file that you printed, but the fact that you printed it, you didn't print that suit done. Like you didn't hit the button and like the suit popped out. Like you're doing the pieces and then the welding and then the painting and then the sanding and then the grading and then like that is more work than I would put into it. So, but in just my humble old opinion, you are as much a cosplayer as somebody who sat there and stitched together an Iron Man suit out of fabric.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's silly. All right, we got a bunch of questions already coming in from the chats. And first of all, Scott he made a great point. He says, you know, imagine if people in the cooking field were so stingy. Like, did you raise and butcher that cow yourself?
I like that. I like that enough. Oh, yeah. Watching Gordon Ramsay rip people apart would be a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see. One is, does your military duty play a major factor on him upscaling? Also, does his command support him in his adventures?
I understood both of those questions. Okay. I have answers to both of those questions. Upscaling, yes, that is actually hindering me. Obviously, I have a commitment contract. I have to work. I have to go to work every day. I'm working. I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm home at 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So I can only put so much time into this. And my wife is super understanding. She helps me with this now. Like, she is in it with me, helping behind the scenes, basically like my assistant, accountant, manager, you know, now. And she understands it's something I enjoy. And she also understands it's something that, you know, helps make us extra money. Like, I can make money doing something I enjoy. Why wouldn't you do that?
Absolutely.
But we're kind of starting to get stunted on growth with this because I have the military obligation. So we are at that kind of crossroads. My first contract's about to end in a little over a year. So we're having those talks on, like, do I get out? Do I go reserves or guard? Keep military in my back pocket just in case, and try to make this full time. So we're literally, that's conversations we are having now. Because it'd be amazing if you do this full time. That'd be, you know, but is it safe, viable? Yeah, but is it safe, viable? Because obviously I'm going to be giving up medical and dental, and when we have kids and all, like, it has to be the right move. And then as for my command supporting me, they don't care. Some people ask, you know, one or two people will find out, you know, you get a little jab, they'll call you a nerd, and I'll be like, yeah, man, okay, cool. And like, they'll find out, they ask you a few questions about it, like, oh, that's really cool. I'll show them a few pictures, like, sweet. But I don't bring it to work. I think some people do that with their hobbies. Like, they'll really, like, all the time talk about it. If you don't ask me about it, I'm really not going to bring it up. If I start to get the sense you're a nerd, oh, you like Marvel? I'll chat a little bit and maybe work it in to see if you're interested in it, but they don't really mind. Again, I keep that kind of I'm careful with what I post about, what I share about, and I don't bring it to work. I'm not, you know, it doesn't distract me from my job. Right. So yeah, any time they find out, it might just be this thing that they rag on me for a few minutes, or they find it cool and they'll ask questions about it. So
yeah. Sorry, there's some funny chats coming in. We're gonna get to these. So okay, the next question is what?
I'll try to keep them shorter. Sorry.
No. I mean, and listen, let me just tell you, if you're having a good time, we'll keep this rolling. Don't feel like you're fenced in. Man. You're not fenced in by anything. You have your opportunity. What is the most detailed item you have ever 3D printed? Now I'm gonna assume it's the suit behind you, but
it's not.
It's not.
No, the suit's really not that detailed. It's big. The suit's pretty plain, honestly. Most detailed prints. It's a Black Panther helmet. I'm trying to think of where that is. I think it's in my closet. That's probably the most detailed. It's a full-size Black Panther helmet, and that was one of the longest ones. That single piece helmet took 5 days of printing because it was on such a higher setting quality.
Right.
And the longer a print takes, the more chances it has to fail, something go wrong. Yeah, that was probably the most detailed piece. I'm scared to finish it and paint it. It's black. It printed it black, so it looks good. But like I'm scared to even sand or paint it because I'm like it just looks. It looks good.
Good enough.
Yeah, but the suit's just a lot of panels. It's just a lot of big pieces. If you get up close to it, it photographs well. We'll go with that.
Fair enough. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like plastic, right? Like it's
plastic,
melted plastic in a shape. So it's it's not the same thing as you see like an Iron Man statue.
Yeah. I like that simplification. Yeah. Melted plastic in a shape. Yeah. That might have to be a shirt, actually. Oh my god.
Anything said here is totally yours to use. I just like 10%, just like a little kickback, and we're good.
Someone write that down and DM me.
Okay. What's been again? I feel like the Iron Man's an easy answer, but what's been your favorite cosplay that you designed, modeled, and created?
So, I don't know how to 3D model. That is a big misconception with the hobby. And I don't hide it from anybody. I have, and that's what can scare a lot of people from getting into the hobby. They think you need to know how to 3D model and design and CAD and SolidWorks and Maya and Blender. I can manipulate a 3D model a little bit to help with the printing. Sometimes you have to cut it up, scale it, resize it, but I don't know how to 3D model at all. Everything I've printed, somebody else modeled. There's two different hobbies. Sometimes they intersect where I have plenty of friends who 3D model things for me. They don't know how to 3D print or they don't want to 3D print. They like modeling. I'm the opposite. I like 3D printing. I don't really care to even learn how to 3D model because people are already making the stuff I want to print. So why would I waste time? It's not a waste of time. Obviously, it'd be a skill I'd learn, but like I'd rather spend the time printing the thing and making it when somebody else already designed it. Yeah. And every 3D modeler I've ever worked with adores having their stuff created. Every single one of them. They love seeing their things made. You mean I 3D modeled this thing and now this dude is holding this 7-foot Buster sword? They love it. I love interacting with 3D modelers because it's just the feedback they give you. It's a good exchange. But with that, this sword that's on the wall right here, it's called the Jawblade from Monster Hunter World. It's probably my favorite big sword prop I've made. The paint job came out so much better than I had ever thought it was going to, and it's overbearing, and I love just holding it and looking at it, and it turned into one of my favorite things. That or the Blades of Chaos up there because they just are shiny and metal.
Beautiful. Yeah. And I did recall the Captain America shield there, not a Marvel licensed product. That is stainless steel made in a machine shop. They at a Comic-Con. I met a guy, metal shop, and he makes shields. And that
is beautiful. That's the next paint job step for these two. These two are getting an upgrade, and I want it to look like that. That's
beautiful.
That's good.
And so able to stop at 22. So if
mine can't.
Yeah. If anybody now, if you have anything bigger than that,
I mean, if you took the round out through it, mine would stop it. But
that's true. That is true too. That is true. A fired round. Yeah. Okay, a couple more questions from the audience. Does he? usually we'll do the promoting at the end, but a question came in. Does he have a website? Does he take requests for some of us who aren't savvy in building things?
I am working on an Etsy shop. Right now I sell basically in my Instagram story. I'll make extra helmets. I make and then sell. Right now that's just easier. Selling and then making, taking commissions, it eats up a lot of time. Eventually I will be doing stuff like that. But right now I'll make a couple extra helmets here and there. I'll make a couple extra swords or the big thing my Etsy shop is going to be is raw prints. I'm going to print the raw pieces of the shield, swords, helmets, and you can buy them and finish them yourself. So
kind of like when you had the Gundam and you get the pieces
exactly,
and then you would glue and you'd all the stuff. That's pretty cool.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Let's see. What is a good starter 3D printer for 2 to 3 inch models like D&D miniatures?
All right. This is different than what I do. I just started diving into this on my channel. It's called resin printing. What I do is FDM plastic printing, melting plastic into a shape. That's what I do. However, I just got my hands on some resin printers. Just search resin 3D printing and start watching some videos if you're interested in D&D. Super tiny detailed figures. It is so much cooler than plastic printing. And you can make, I mean, it's literally exactly perfect for D&D. The detail you can get out of it is insane. And you don't have to sand them. You print them, clean them, and then you can start airbrushing and painting them. So you're going to look into brands like Anycubic, Elegoo, Epax. I think they're the big ones. Creality has some, but they're not the mainstay in that aspect. But yeah, resin printing miniatures will get you down that right path. I promise.
Right on, right on. Dude, we're dropping knowledge today, man. Love it.
Let's do
it. from the actual Kingsmith on YouTube. If you ever wonder why you don't see him and Tony Stark in the same room, it's because he is Iron Man. I mean, there you go. I think that's just a nice thing to say. So
thanks, man. Tony's no longer with us, though.
So you're next in line, right? You're next in line. You got the suit already.
I gotta go break in and steal some stuff.
Let's see what else. Kaz in the chat says you should 3D print yourself an F-15. I guess in reference to your military service.
I could, but I could just go take one. Like I can just go, and if you've ever worked on one, you really wouldn't want one anyway. Let's be honest here. Some of you know. They're good. The military can keep them. They break way too much.
So true. A question this actually brings up a question I had. I'm curious if anything in your service, so obviously you're working on engines and jets and these things, has anything from there ever sparked like an idea of something you wanted to print or like a mechanical something that you could, incorporate, anything like that?
Actually, not at all. Nope. It just makes a good headline when news articles are like, he works on jet engines and makes Iron Man suits. Like they are connected. They're not. They have nothing to do with each other. It just looks good on paper. But no, not really. It's okay. One thing maybe my work has helped him with is project management and task saturation and being able to multitask on having 20, 30 different projects going on at the same time and being able to keep track of them and just refining, a maintenance oriented mind. Obviously I'm repairing, tearing down, building jet engines every day. So like you get to good working with your hands. You have to be able to understand and manage that. So it nurtures the brain. I wouldn't say it necessarily directly affects it, but I wouldn't call it a hindrance by any means.
Right on. Also from the actual Kingsmith in YouTube, he just says simply, no question, U.S. Air Force guys do the coolest stuff. Just saying. There you go. Obviously, someone is kissing a little Air Force ass right there.
I appreciate that, but if you heard what this guy was talking about before I came in, oh boy, I mean, cool is a matter of perspective. Some people would never want to do what he did. Some people would. So
fair enough. From Scott, this is a great question. This isn't something I wouldn't have even thought of. Has there or are there any legal issues selling copyrighted things?
Welcome to the gray zone. It is always a point of contention. because some pieces are considered artwork depending on how you license them and how you model them, and did I 3D model it and then print it? What are you paying me for? Are you paying me for the thing, or are you paying me for the time I spent printing it using my machines for my materials and my time? A lot of weird gray areas, and it is constantly evolving. So I can't really give you a direct answer and say, oh, 100% absolutely illegal, because it's not. It just depends on how you approach it. When dealing with Marvel and Disney, the big number one rule is you never sell anything that has Mickey Mouse on it. They will shut you will before you have a chance to even send out that Etsy order, there will be a cease and desist in your mailbox. Never sell anything with Mickey Mouse on it. That is their most heavily guarded IP. However, Marvel, Star Wars, Lucasfilms, they're pretty good with cosplayers. They're pretty good with fan-made stuff, because every article my suit appears in, it's advertising. It's advertising for them. In the end, it's Iron Man. Oh, I haven't seen the Iron Man movie. Let me go watch that.
Yeah.
It's advertising for them. And as long as I'm not selling enough stuff to affect their bottom line, which, I mean, it'd be amazing to get on their radar in that aspect. It means I'm making a lot of money. You have to tread the water carefully. And just what you're selling, how you're advertising it, what you're titling it. You'll see a lot of things on Etsy that are like superhero helmet, not Iron Man helmet. And, because they're searching their keywords, because they know they can't go after the one that's selling the superhero helmet, but they're going to search Iron Man helmet and see who's on Etsy selling Iron Man helmets. And oh wow, they have 20,000 sales.
Get a piece of that action.
Yeah, like, all right, we're gonna shut that down.
I love the idea of like you go to like you get a Mickey Mouse file, and you go to print it, and it just prints out a cease and desist letter. Like you're like, wow.
Oh, that would make a funny video, actually. It's like, I'm gonna print Mickey Mouse, and you come back, you turn the print lights off, come back in the next morning, you're like, it's done. Oh God.
Just a 3D letter. There you go.
It's just a lawyer sitting there, just like, what are you doing?
That one's yours, man. All you for the TikToks. Let's see. Got a couple more. I mean, I have a dozen questions, but I always like to give the audience a chance.
Let's do it, man. Let's go.
Let's see. With the my God, I have literally 4 different chats open, all asking questions. How hard?
My world.
This is okay. So now this is a question I'm totally understand if you want to sidestep. You have authorization here. How hard is it to make cash as a YouTube personality, as a content creator?
No, I won't sidestep this. I actually talked to a lot of people about who were trying to get into this hobby and into the social media thing, because I never thought I'd be in it either. YouTube sucks. Like, it's good, it pays. Obviously, my channel's monetized. I make money off of YouTube. But that's not where the money is. Especially, it's going to be sponsored videos. It's going to be promotional videos. It's going to be, getting free stuff so you don't need to pay for it. Not like going out pandering and being like, give me all your free stuff. But like, if a company reaches out, they're like, hey, you want to test out this 3D printer? Like, yeah, that means I don't have to, that's a printer I don't have to buy. That's money not out of my pocket, which is money in your pocket. So, YouTube, it's good. It does pay, and I'm not ungrateful for that at all. But compared to other avenues where there is income concerned, and this isn't even talking about the props I sell, it's probably the lowest netting. And another good income is, it's fan interaction. It's things like Patreon. It's things, special Discords and all of that. So that's where you can definitely find people who are passionate about supporting you too. Once you find your niche, like, that's it. You just, my patrons support me to help me create stuff, because if I didn't have my Patreon support, I'd have to spend more time building and selling helmets, which takes away from me making content. So it's this kind of cycle of, trying to balance that, and it works out. And if you're make social media about stuff you enjoy, because if you even give the slightest hint that you're in it for just money, that it's fake, that you're just like, oh, I saw this dude make an Iron Man suit on YouTube, I'm going to make it because he seems like he's making money, it ain't going to go well for you. Do it because you enjoy it and you think other people will enjoy it with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. And Scott says, hey, make an OnlyFans. It could just be videos of you building shit.
No, see, well, no, we have a joke. We have a joke in the Discord. It's actually going to be called Only Franks, and it's just going to be a lot of hot dogs. Like that's it. That's it. And like, you knew what you're signing up for. Like I don't know why you're surprised that it's an Oscar Mayer wiener. Like you signed up for, and then maybe.
The military in me is like, I know what kind of Franks you're talking about.
Or it'll be me in the suit, but there's like a bikini on over it, and I'm doing like lewd poses, but the suit's on. Yeah.
The jacuzzi. You gotta get in the jacuzzi. You gotta do the jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi stream. Jacuzzi streams in the suit. Wow. I could get electrocuted. That'd be fun. That'd be good.
The green. You do a green screen jacuzzi. They don't know the difference.
You know what's crazy is there's absolutely people who would pay for this, and I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing.
Depends. Only Franks. It's a wiener fest.
Oh God.
Let's see. I know we kind of touched on a couple of those things. I have all these little notes. I mean, like I said, I reached out to you, and obviously, we made this happen, and that was awesome. You were so willing to do it. You kind of blew up, right? Your channel, like, you're going about your thing, and then I just remember, like, I'm on Facebook, and I see, and it's not like it's the same, it's not you promoting it, right? It's this article comes out, and then it's copied by Marvel Rocks posts it, and then it's on this channel, and then it's on that channel, and it's everywhere. Yeah. Is it weird? Like when you see you maybe you're scrolling Facebook or whatever, you see an article about yourself out there. Is that a weird thing?
Every time. I still don't know what to do with my hands half the time. Like it's weird. It's still weird. I don't know how people get used to it. Maybe if I get used to it, that's a bad sign. They're like, you're kind of full of himself. Like it is. I've had people message me on Facebook, or I've ran into friends and be like, dude, I had to mute you on Facebook because you kept getting tagged. I kept people my mom or my sister or my uncle or something would share an article that I was tagged in that was about me or something, and so then it would tag me, and then it would ping my friend that I got tagged in something. So I had people be like, I was just so sick. Like he's like, I love you, I'm still your friend, but I was so sick of seeing your shit on Facebook. And it's like, I get it. I that's fair. That's that's understandable.
the downsides of social media stardom.
Yeah, I guess I should just retire, send off autographs and stuff. Why not? It's weird. I was recognized at a Lowe's. That was pretty funny, actually. the guy working there at the paint area. He just stops and looks at me. I just moved here, and he's like, kind of gives me a weird look. He's like, because I said I just moved in from town from overseas, and he's like, "Where'd you move from?" I'm like, "England." He's like, Do you 3D print? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I follow your TikTok. And I'm like, no way, dude. It's awesome. Some random guy working at Lowe's, and we just chatted a little bit, and that was my first in-person fan interaction of any type. And I'm like,
you gotta do the autograph, you gotta do the picture, you gotta do the whole thing, man. You gotta experience it for sure.
Yeah, and then it happened at Comic-Con we just went to, but that's been it. I get recognized in the streets. Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's the suit that gets recognized, right? I mean,
yeah. I cannot wait to take that thing to a Comic-Con. I'm going in August to Silicon in San Jose, California. I can't wait. I can't wait to go finally bring it somewhere. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you got when you post about it, man. We're gonna share it on the page because I'm sure it's gonna blow up overnight as well. Jim from the chat says, because we were talking about the articles, all these articles about you. Have you called out anyone for fake articles? I don't know if that's a thing that happens.
If you're referring to misquotes or oh, Frank did this or said this, or no, not really. I honestly haven't really kept track of everybody who's made an article or posted something. I kind of kept a couple links and here and there. Because you can kind of recycle and reuse them if someplace reaches out hey, we want to know more about you, or we want to type this. I've answered a lot of the basic questions already, so I'll just kind of share them around and cut and copy them. But no, I haven't had to call anybody out or go after anybody for slander or misquotes or maybe it's a good thing if I get there notoriety. I don't know. I hope that never happens. But at the same time, it'd be kind of funny if that happened.
Right. Fair enough. So I'm curious, like when you started this, right? And I know this started as a passion project. It was, you know, a lot of emotional connection and other things, and we don't have to get into that. But once you started to have an inkling that maybe it's building a following, maybe there's a way to monetize this. I'm curious at that moment, what's your idea of success? What's that brass ring that you're like, man, if I get there, like I fucking made it, you know?
That's it. Wow, you got me. Yeah, you got me there. Damn. I don't. It just kind of kept growing. Like, if YouTube slowed down, Instagram picked up. If Instagram slowed down, Reddit picked up. Or then TikTok blew up, and then it went back to YouTube. And I used to think, all right, like I think it like 100,000 on YouTube, like that'd be amazing. Like I started with a couple hundred, you know, like that'd be like in that aspect. I already feel like I kind of made it in that. Like I'm proud of that. Sure. I was proud. Like it was so surreal to open up that little box and like it had my channel's name on it. Like that was so cool. Like, but now that it's passed, it was just a thing that happened, and it's just still kind of growing. I guess if I could pay for my house and, you know, live off of just this, I think maybe that would be the I made it moment. Like this is working, this is happening, you know. And maybe I'd get there and it would still feel the same as it does now, just I'd have more time for it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. We always put like, okay, here's the flag at the top of the mountain, and then you get to that
keep
point.
Raising it.
Yeah, you get to that point, and then you go, holy
higher.
shit, there's like, more mountain.
Oh wait, yeah, I can keep. Okay, yeah. When do you peak? Like,
right, exactly. So it's a fascinating thing, and the idea of success and challenging ourselves. I'm curious. I'm curious. You know, you are a content creator. I mean, again, I said it feels silly saying, you know, oh, you're a YouTube star or whatever, because I do legitimately think that you're a creator. You're a person that makes a product and puts it out there for people to ingest. Versus like when I hear YouTube star, it's like some guys like, oh, I'm like doing silly dances or something. I don't know. But with that content creator stardom, I'm curious, what are some of the things you've seen that's been like, oh wow, this brought this really good thing to my life, but also maybe, hey, what are the shady, the things that like most people don't know come with that kind of success?
That actually I do have a few good ones for that. The obligation, I think that's the thing that people don't realize or think about. And that's going to vary person to person. I'm not saying everybody's going to fall into that trap, but when you start to have followers, you know, or at least me, I'll speak for me. And if you guys can relate to this, awesome. But you start to feel almost obligated, like you owe them something. And I'm not saying that like I'm ungrateful at all. I'm not. I know this could all go away tomorrow, and that's it. Like I'm very grounded about that. This is a enjoyment, but you feel obligated, and it does. My hobby is I've monetized my hobby, so now free time is a lot more scarce. And all right, well, I if I want this to keep growing, if I want, you know, I feel like I sometimes owe my followers something, and in that sense of I need to make something, or I need to put something out. Okay. All right, I got to balance that time, or do I have time for this? I can't go out that night. I got to be up early. Oh, now I got to finish this project. So it does envelop you. And on top of, now there's some content creators who just make videos and maybe they record, they do stuff with their computer. I'm not saying mine's harder or easier, but I also have to 3D print it and paint it and finish it and do this. And, oh, don't forget to record while you're doing it. And then you have to go and edit it. And so it strains your time. And if I couldn't balance and manage that, I mean, it all would have went belly up, I'm sure, or would you drive you through the wall. and I've gotten burned out plenty of times. I'll be honest, I'm in a little bit of a burnout right now after going through the move and having to reset up all my printers and refigure all this out and decorate and get all this stuff. It's taxing. So like, I have all my printers sitting in the garage ever since I moved them from this room to the garage. Not a single one's been on because I like don't want to set them up. Like I just am kind of trying to take a little bit of a break.
Sure.
And all right, let's focus more on maybe finishing some props and doing videos over here. So you don't want to burn yourself out, or else you'll just start hating what you're trying to enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's definitely it's tricky. It's definitely tricky. Not burning yourself out. Yeah. Fair. And then haters. Yeah. The dark side is haters. But if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. It's whatever.
Yeah. We get trolled here constantly. So you know.
People suck. That's one thing, man. I actually just had a YouTube comment today. It was just all it said was virgin. That was it. Like no effort put into it at all. And I even responded back to the dude. I'm like, that was it. Like you had all the time in the world to insult me. Like, did you know I'm short? Did you know like I'm in the military? Like you could have done so much with this, but you just went with virgin.
You could attack the work. You're like, oh, your stuff sucks.
Yeah, like come on, like come on, like that was it. Like I've like tried to coach trolls. I'm like, you gotta level. It's 2021, man. You gotta this isn't like 2001. Oh, nerd. Like, ooh, what are you gonna do? Come on.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a car mechanic. Grew up in the car world, and I'm in the military. Get out of here. Come back with.
Gotta come harder than that.
An insult. Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Like I get talked. People trash talk harder at work every day than what's on social media.
Right.
So,
Jim has a great one in the he said like don't read the comments, all caps. Don't read the comments.
I love reading the comments. I love it, but I've learned you have to differentiate between the trolls, which they're just fun. I will answer trolls because I used to be a troll. I think we all, like our teens at one point, were like, troll. You have fun on the internet. You're the anonymity of it. You say whatever you want. I now can't say whatever I want. That's another downside of I've had to shift even just random conversations I can't attack people on Facebook. Like 3 years ago, if somebody said something mean, I could say whatever I want, call them horrible names, whatever the hell I wanted to do. Now I can't, because if the wrong person gets a hold of that, if I use the wrong curse word or language or something, I could get canceled real quick, so I have to reserve myself on that. And then you have the people who are just being mean or haters. There's people in the community in the same hobby that I am. There are grown men out there who also make Iron Man suits. Let me break this down. I'll rag on myself here. There are grown men who dress up in Iron Man suits for fun, who rag on other dudes who dress up as Iron Man for fun, and they somehow think, oh, it is the most mind-boggling thing ever. That you're just like, how are you even going to pretend that you're better or worse than me and rag on me for doing and enjoying the same thing you do?
Sure.
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, and it's always there. Like I've seen in the past, it's always people that like you have a bigger following than they do, so they're gonna rag on you because no one ever punches down. No one. You never see that. You never see the guy with 1 million followers being like, "Look at your little shitty 200 follower." Like nobody does that.
But I've had people who were punched at me saying I was punching down. I'm like, no, this dude was just being an asshole. I can call him out. I'm allowed to do. I don't care how many followers. Could have had 1 billion followers. I'm still gonna call him an asshole. You're just punching down because you're mad. No, I'm just mad. There's a difference. I'm not attacking him if someone like Mark Rober he's not a dick, but if he turned into like the biggest dick in the world and said something mean on one of my comments, he'd be like, screw you, dude. Like, what? It doesn't matter how many followers you have. You're still a person. I can be mad at you. Like, that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a whole side conversation happening right now in the chats about trolls. And the internet.
I love trolls.
Yeah.
I love trolls.
Scott says, if you ever want to, like, I guess, take on a troll, you got to make a side profile. You got to make a fake profile so that way you can go after trolls and have anonymity.
Nope, because I can win as I am. I don't need to make a fake account.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm good. All right.
Fair enough. Okay, some more questions.
There's nothing they could ever say to me that I haven't said to myself or heard. Like, what? Virgin. I've been married for 10 years. Okay, sure, whatever. Fine.
Great self-control.
Like that type of stuff. You're not like, oh yeah, just a saint. Like, what do you really? Oh, you're 30 years old and you have a bunch of toys and you're okay. And you what? You watch? What do you watch football? What do you watch? Play video games? Like, I don't. Ooh, like let people enjoy things. Nobody who's doing good, and I will stand by this. Nobody who's doing good in life, nobody who's like pulling in 6, 7 figures, they're having the time of their life, they have the wife or family they want, whatever cars they want. If they're not hopping on YouTube and going to some random channel's comments and be like, "You're a loser, you suck." Those are the nobody does that if they're happy. Like it's the people who they're jealous or they don't understand or they're mad that it's weird Iron Man Marvel stuff. I don't understand it, so he's a loser. Like
I get that a lot. I get that a lot. You'd be surprised.
Find a hobby, man. Like chill out. Like what?
I like this. Mysterio 3D on YouTube says you need
Mysterio.
Yeah, that's.
I know he's one of my patrons. I know him.
There you go. He posted a comment. He says you need to 3D print a troll and say your comments don't deserve this. There you go. appreciate the thought. That's an excellent one.
There you go.
Radar, stop putting comments. My co-host Radar is putting comments in the video. He's saying how he's a thousandaire. He cleared 4 figures last year, so good for you, buddy. Good for you.
There you go.
So one of the questions that came in was about what's coming down the pipe and like what's the big build. Now I know from watching your stuff, you got that Mark 39 in progress. How's that coming along?
Well, now that I'm here, moved, everything showed up. Like my stuff got here a week and a half ago from England. I'm in the process of repairing the red suit, my first suit. It broke. I'm upgrading, updating it. Once that's done, that needs to be done by Comic-Con. Like that's it. That's priority one. Right. That's even cutting into content creation and filming. Like I am out of. I honestly don't even think it's going to be done in time. We'll figure it out. Once that's done and I'm back from Comic-Con, that's on the stand. It's good. I have that suit. It works. We're back into the Mark 39. Everything I need to do, the one leg is done and fitted, one arm is done and fitted, the whole torso is fit. I just need to duplicate it all over, make sure everything's nice and snug and works, and then we're going to do the electronics, then we're going to do the paint, and he'll be done. So I have not forgotten about Star Boost. I cannot wait to have 2 suits behind me while I'm streaming. It's going to be awesome. And you guys don't even know, there's more stuff going on the wall that's not done yet. It's all covered up and hidden. So.
Ooh, excellent. So there's your answer. And obviously you.
Oh, and
yes, go ahead.
There is a 3rd suit in work too that only a couple people know about. So, yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to drop an exclusive here, that's fine. But if you don't, it's fine. It's all good.
Nope. Some of my patrons don't even know. Nope.
Hey, I'm all for working behind the scenes and bringing out the great product. I'm working on a little something myself on the side, but little video thing. So I think me and you are kindred spirits in that like Marvel is kind of prevalent, like I love all things geek. I've got the start. There's a Imperial Stormtrooper helmet back there.
I see a Riddler cane. I see
the Riddler. Yep.
You got it.
Walking Dead. The Dix. My God, Daryl Dixon's crossbow. Like
That's what that was.
I got things out there. I got things from other universes. I'm curious. Is there ever a thought to like? Because I know I've seen the Mandalorian helmet you've done. We've seen the blades you've done. Is there ever like? Do you get people like, oh, you should print Master Chief, the Spartan suit, like anything ever like that?
Every damn effing day, every single day. Print Spartan armor. That might be one of the most popular requests. Master Chief, Spartan armor. Aside from that, constantly people are asking me to make a Spider-Man suit. You don't 3D print a Spider-Man suit. You get it screen printed on latex or spandex. You don't print it. It's not but I'm not I like Spider-Man, but not that much. And I'm not that confident with my body. That's why I wrap it in an Iron Man suit. So yeah, that's no. With that, there are there is a plan for a Batman Arkham Knight cosplay, and I don't mean like the Batman Bruce Wayne armor. I mean the Arkham Knight from the game,
right.
like Jason Todd's.
Yeah, with the
I
computer
already have the
screen.
helmet. Yes, I have the helmet printed. I have the very nice files for it. That is eventually going to happen. I do not have a timeline on that. I also have 2 video game cosplays I am kind of working on. One's kind of done. Haven't posted anything about it. And then another one's not even started, but I would like to. So there are other cosplays I want to do. And those 2 anime video game cosplays, the only things that are 3D printed are going to be the props or the weapons. The rest of the costume I have to build. So I'm going to be branching out a little bit more into like, a little bit of foam work and then mostly piece gathering for a costume. So
very nice.
I'm excited.
Excited, man. We're learning all types of things. Anything in the
going into it.
We're getting from the Star Wars universe, Darth Revan or Vader, anything like that?
I have 3D printed I printed a Darth Nihilus, Darth Revan, and Sith Acolyte mask for my buddy back in England. I printed Anakin's lightsaber, just the hilt, and Palpatine's saber. I do have some other cool Star Wars files I've been entertaining printing, but I don't know. I really like the I was never going to print a Mandalorian helmet, and then I saw the show, and I'm like,
it's nice.
Oh, like, okay, this was like it was like a Western.
Yeah,
like, you didn't need to be like my wife watched it. She's like,
yep,
it was just a good like Star Wars Western. But if you knew the lore in the background, it was just extra little bonuses and each like, oh, I know who that is, or you just didn't have to care who that was.
Yep.
Yeah, there are plans. There are plans for some Star Wars stuff for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you could put together a pretty cool Mandalorian suit probably too.
So I have my Iron Mandalorian, right? That Mandalorian helmet that is like Iron Man colored.
Right.
I have very much entertained finishing that into a full Iron Man DeLorean suit. I have some cool ideas.
Iron DeLorean, I like it.
Iron DeLorean, like redoing the chest plate to like glow, and we'll see.
Yeah, because I guess that's the next thing is like once you're like, okay, I've built everything. Now comes the mashups. Now it's like,
but like between Marvel still putting out, we have so many more shows coming out and movies. Star Wars is back in full swing. DC's trying, bless their heart. They'll get there eventually. And then between anime and video games, like I'm never gonna run out of stuff. Like I'm never gonna run out of. I'm already like so behind on current pop culture stuff that I want to print. I'll never run out of content and things that I want to. But what's great right now is I'm still only printing stuff I want to, and that's where the people will ask, "Hey, print the Master Chief armor. Hey, print this, print that." It's like I can say no, and like I don't mean it in like a a dick way. Like, oh no, it's literally just like no, I don't want to print that because I'm not interested. Because I can still print the stuff I'm enjoying because I still have a full-time job. I'm not depending on you guys reacting to this 3D printed Master Chief armor because the fans wanted it. Like, I don't need that clickbait yet. Maybe if it goes full-time, I'll have to start taking certain requests and being a little more cognizant of pop culture. It'll have to happen if I go that route. And then doing commissions, doing requests. Hey, can you make me this thing? I don't necessarily want to make it for myself, but yes, money talks. So if it's about supporting a family at that point, the dynamic is going to have to shift. I understand that. If it's playing with that, is that worth it? Or am I going to sour the whole hobby because I had to make a Flash costume for somebody and I didn't want to, We'll figure it out.
No, that's excellent. Excellent. Now we've been talking for an hour. So this is your exit ramp. We can shut it down. Or,
all right, bye.
If you want to keep going, we got a couple more questions, and the audience is having a great time out there.
Let's do it.
Guys, let them know like you're enjoying this too, man. Give a shout out. We're loving it. All right, a couple more questions. So, okay, giving you're prone to teaching and showing and leading by example. What is for you like the biggest mistakes for newbies? Somebody's watching right now and they're going like, oh shit, I'm about to get into 3D printing game. What do they need to look out for?
Bruh. Oh my God. just because this is a can of worms you just opened. Do not base your own progress off of what you see somebody else doing. For example, me. Yes, I show you the Iron Man suit, the prop, the helmet, the whatever. But just because I said I printed the suit in this amount of time and it took me this long to finish it, that should be no reflection of how long it's going to take you. You could go much smoother. You could go not so smooth. You are going to fail. Like, that is, if there was a slogan for 3D printing, it would be, you're gonna F this up. Accept it. That's it. And so many people, they get so deterred by the failures. It's like, no, stop. Why did that fail? Why did the print fail? Why did it get clogged? Why did the printer turn off? Why did that happen? Why did the paint fail? Why didn't that? Figure out why that happened, because 99% of the time it's your fault. Figure out why and learn from it so it doesn't happen again. That's it. That's all you can do, because if you just get aggravated, you'll never finish that thing, Like that's it. You just have to take your time with it. And you're going to see people get it way quicker. I know I got this very, very quickly. I already had a background with all of this stuff. It's plastic. I've been working on Gundam models for my whole life. Like, oh, it's plastic. Oh, I can sand it. Like, so don't base your progress off of somebody else's, and just do it. I wish I had started so much sooner. I wish I had started cosplay so much sooner than I did, but I don't regret that it's tricky. Like, I do wish I started it earlier. I'm happy I started it now, though. Like, okay, cool, we're doing it finally. I'm happy. If it makes you happy, do it. Just start it. If you fail,
just
you
do
fail.
It.
And it's cheap enough now. You can get a good the 3D print I'm recommending the most right now for starters. It's called the Voxel Lab Aquila, and it's about $150, and it's probably one of the best little printers I've used. And you can make almost full-size helmets on it, but you print things in pieces. And if you end up hating the hobby and you try it and you're like, okay, what? You just lost the price of 3 video games? $150.
Right.
Ooh, sell it. Somebody will buy it. I promise you. Somebody will buy that printer.
Hey, that is all. You know what? You've inspired me, man. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna get a damn printer, and we're gonna start making things. I'm gonna start selling CQ inspired merchandise. Well, I don't know.
You're the only thing stopping you.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so let's see what else. I read somewhere that, like, pre-COVID, that you had developed a small 1-hour class to teach local children and teens, like, how to start 3D printing. Is that something that, like, you foresee in the future? Like, oh, I can do this. I mean, like, there's options, right? You can do like not master class, but there's like smaller. Can't think of the name now. It's like the Patreon of master class. It's like.
Yeah, well, there's a couple websites. There's monthly, there's Teachable, I just got an email today about a website who was like, we can take your content and turn it into a class your fans can pay for. And it's like, well, you just described my YouTube, so that could be kind of a dick move to then
monetize
start charging.
Yeah.
Like my whole thing was teaching. I can't just go and flip the script on people. That's not how that works, Yeah, so during when I really started getting into printing before COVID, I was at my wife's work. She worked with kids. I was running a little 3D printing class because they had some, kind of dinky 3D printers, and it was fun. I like teaching. So it'd be a class of 8 to 10, anywhere. I think the youngest we had was 6 or 7 years old, and then we'd have teenagers, and they got it. They were interested in it. They understood it, and COVID. So I started doing Skype and Zoom classes with a couple families. I'd have adults. I'd have some kids. Like, this is kind of the overview of 3D printing. This is what the printers are like. And then that slowly translated over to the YouTube tutorials where it's like, all right, now I have somewhere to send people. Like, hey, I'm interested in 3D printing. Here's a whole playlist. Watch it through. See what you think. And I've thought about local area. I would love to try to get into a school around here, like a science club or a 3D printing club. I'd show up for that, do it once a month or once every 2 weeks, find a college with a 3D printing lab or a maker space or something like that. I would very much go and do that again. It was fun. And It was just enjoyable, just not having that obligation to make content. It was just like I could be right there with them, teaching them, and you can see that reward instantly.
Yeah, and you know, touching people, interacting with people on a person to person basis is always different than promoting content online. From Scott, what platform are you most active on?
So, the way I look at the three platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. YouTube is my bread and butter. That's where I make my full content, my tutorials, my big stuff. And I read all the comments and I try to respond to people. But if you want to talk to me, Instagram. Instagram is my DM box. I answer. I could show you now. I don't have like message requests on Instagram. I hate it because if somebody reached out to me, I want to answer them. I answer everybody on Instagram. And a lot of people don't believe me that I do that. I do that. And people in the chat probably attest to that. And I'm constantly trying to, check comments, see people asking questions. And TikTok's just fun. I hated it at first, and people still make fun of me for it, or you make fun of your friends for TikTok. It's just dumb fun. Once you find out that it's not just girls naked dancing or whatever, or I thought it was just kids singing and girls dancing around, but massive cosplay community, huge 3D printing community, huge car community on TikTok. It's just dumb fun. It's somewhere to just dump bad ideas or just have fun with it. But I have my most followers on TikTok, so keeping up with all those comments is very, very, very difficult. TikTok got away from me very quickly. I try to respond to the ones I can, but TikTok's a little lost cause when it comes to that. Yeah, Instagram would be like the most active.
All right, there you go. That's a solid, well thought answer. Jim wants to know, could you make him a woman kind of with a 3D printer, a la like Weird Science?
Yes. Well, yeah, you could absolutely make a girlfriend with a 3D printer. Get a 3D printer, print some really cool cosplay, go to a Comic-Con, find a girl who's also a nerd, and there you go.
Wow.
I promise you they exist. Like, they are very much out there. But you need to go there and find them,
Well done. I want to applaud that. That is a great answer right there. That was good. Let's see. Like, I'm just going through all the chats. I feel like if I had a 3D printer as a teenager, I would just make plastic bongs. There you go. That's
look in the pet G. Anyway.
And yes, Max from YouTube says yes, Frank will respond on Instagram. So there you go. You've been verified. Who's this? Max also says, show them the good night texts. Do you
the good
night text? Do you send people good night texts?
No. Do I?
That's
Max, what are you talking about?
That's Max.
Show them the good night texts. I don't know what he's talking about.
Andrew also said, yep, he does. So yeah, you have been verified.
I do. I try. I try to.
What else, man? I don't want to hold you too long now, so we're gonna get to
no, dude. It's 10:17, right? I go to bed at 11, man. I'm here. It's.
Oh my God! Do it. All right, you heard him here, people. I need those questions. I need it. Start bringing them out, unloading them. So yeah, I'm curious. If you had to. How do I want to phrase this question? Obviously Marvel is big in your world. It's big in mine. What would be the next kind of that next tier, right? Like, is it the Gundam? Is it the Star Wars? Is it like what's kind of like just under Marvel for you as far as your fandom goes?
Just in general, it would have to be Dragon Ball Z. I grew up with it. I wish there were more things to 3D print from it. I have a Z sword there, and that kind of taps you out. I have a bunch of Dragon Ball Z figures I buy. I don't print them because you can buy them for like $10-15, and I do not feel like painting those. So yeah, DBZ, grew up with it. I love it. Gundam would have to be a very close second place to that, because I also grew up with Gundam. The original Toonami, I'm sure some people in the chat know exactly what I'm talking about. The Toonami with it was like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam, and Trigun, and Inuyasha, and then it was great. I would love to make a Gundam cosplay. Like, that would be probably more hype for me than even my Iron Man suit.
Right.
Gundam cosplay is very difficult to get right because Gundams are proportioned like a 7-foot slim Victoria's Secret model.
Right.
Like very tiny head, legs for miles. Like that's how a Gundam is proportioned. Super skinny waist. So when you do a Gundam cosplay, you need to be in stilts, and your hands can't be the right length. Like your fingers can't come out the end of the arms. You need to have manipulators, like those, long extension things. It needs to be modeled like that. It's a lot of work, and it's not something you 3D print. It's something you make out of fiberglass or paper or foam, because the weight of it would just be horrendous. But that is one of my long-term cosplay goals, is to make my own Gundam cosplay.
Yeah.
One day.
Literally right before you opened up, the first comment was like, hey, when is he going to do a Gundam? So there you go.
I promise you guys, like it is very much something I would love to do. I have files. I have 3D print files for 2 Gundam suits, but it's not something. It would be way too fragile and heavy, and no.
Yeah, a lot of work goes into it, and I mean, I'm sure you've seen it because you're in that world. But I know I was at a New York Comic-Con a couple years ago, and there was
Can't wait to go. Can't wait.
There was a guy in a Hulk Buster, and I mean, it was what I can only imagine the size of a Hulk Buster. Like it was.
Hulk Buster is 11.5 feet tall.
It was probably in like the 8 to 9 foot range, I'd say, because he was definitely ducking under some doorways. But it was massive. It was so huge, and then like the pilot helmet would pop up, and he had the Iron Man helmet underneath, and I just stood there, and I'm just like I can't even, like, my brain doesn't compute like that. Just how do you maneuver and oh, that's just crazy.
I'm sure someone especially Mysterio, is probably already typing it out.
Already done. Yep.
Or Max.
Extreme Costumes had the Hulk Buster, he says.
Well, I also may have the screen used CGI files from Age of Ultron of the Hulk Buster. So,
moving on.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you get something like that. Well, I guess if you
start to know people,
yeah.
You start to know people, and what I mean is I have the CGI files that were converted into 3D printable files for the full size 11.5 foot Hulk Buster.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Maybe one day.
I was talking about getting the 3D printer myself, and of course I got a comment come straight to me saying like, how long until you print a Kang helmet? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm all excited about. I'm excited about. Yeah, I would assume you're watching all the stuff. I mean, with what time? I don't know. But are you keeping up to date with like the Disney Plus shows and all the movies and everything? Yeah.
See? Oh yeah, Loki was primo. Loki was
so good.
I love it. They did it. Like they did it. It's the multiverse consequences. The next saga, can't wait. And that nothing. I don't think a line in realistically, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think a line in MCU history has been delivered quite as chilling as when he said, "If you think I'm evil, wait till you meet my variants." Just the pause that I actually sat there and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. They're doing, just the way he delivered that line was artful. Yeah.
And you just know that when we see him again, because we're gonna see Jonathan Majors again, probably multiple times.
It should be the next Ant-Man, Quantumania. That should be his appearance. He's the main villain, theoretically. I think that's what they said.
Yeah, that's the Kang appearance. I have a theory that we're gonna see him pop up, different versions of him in other projects, but I think Kang himself.
Honestly, if No Way Home is a multiversal film, again, nothing's really been released about it. There'd be a perfect place to make him pop up, do some damage. Doctor Strange needs to fix it, but Multiverse of Madness should be induced by Wanda. However, it would make a lot of sense for him to pop up too, because it's the multiverse, and he is not happy about that. So yeah, there's definitely places he can pop up, and
yeah, I could talk about this all day. Is there? I'm just curious. Now I'm gonna pick your nerd brain. is there anything? So obviously we know what Shang-Chi's coming out, Eternals coming
Can't
out,
wait.
Spider-Man's coming
Eternals. So I have a theory about Eternals, and I'll pitch this one real fast.
Go for it
if you want. Obviously now we know the Eternals we're talking about. We stayed quiet until now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see what if now all the timelines, time is cyclic, right? So everything should be going and happening, repeating. I'm wondering what if the Eternals are locked outside of the time loop where time keeps moving and restarting around them, but they can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like they watch the world grow and die and fail and the universe restart and come back and restart, and they constantly keep ending up on Earth and they can't do anything about it. The little kid, I don't know if you've seen the set photo, like the smaller Eternal kid, I can't remember his name. He has the power to like erase their memories and stuff. Maybe there's something about him constantly erasing their minds and the timeline gets reset and they can't remember. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it'd be cool if they were trapped.
You sound like me on a given Tuesday night, right here in front of the audience, just going like, okay, so here's what I think.
What if it's all connected?
I'm the meme with the string and the
exactly.
Look, it's all.
You're just like, it's right there, man. It's
right in front of you. Right in front of you. Yeah, we had me and my co-host Radar. We had a whole fight about me saying it was the prior to the last episode of Loki, going like, it's not going to be Kang. That would be stupid. It's so obvious. There's no way. He says I called the idea stupid, and I'm like, I did not. And it was a whole thing. The audience got involved. It got ugly.
Oh, no.
Which, by the way, I think our boy Radar, for my audience that knows, because I see you got a lot of your guys in the chat, which is awesome. But for my audience that knows Radar,
you called my idea stupid.
there he is. There he is.
Stupid,
Radar's getting jealous over here. He's saying like, is Frank gonna take my Tuesday spot? So
you on Tuesdays because you know way more about this than I do. So there's that.
You can't afford me.
I was gonna say, are you busy most Tuesday nights? Because I hear there's an opening soon. I'm looking for a co-host. Hey, you can take the back seat. You can relax for a little while. We just talk Marvel stuff.
There you go.
Everybody's laughing.
I like it.
So yeah, okay. So I mean, my God, they're if any. Let's before we keep going, because I do want to keep going this, but I want to give before we lose people, right? People get short attention spans. They're gonna go. So I want to make sure we promote. Where can people follow you? Where can people support you? Where can people find you and interact with you? I know we kind of touched on it, but give me. And I've got a list. If you don't want to do it, I'll do it for you. So go ahead.
Yeah. If you guys want to follow me, YouTube is probably the best place to start learning if you're interested in the hobby. YouTube.com/franklybuilt. All my tags and handles are pretty much the same thing. Each one of them, if it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, if it's TikTok, the link in the bio is always there to get you across it. I have a Discord channel. It's a free Discord channel. I think we have like 4,000 members in it, and it's about 3D printing and cosplay. And I post updates in there and talking, interacting, live streams, all that stuff. So there's a couple of places to reach out. If you just like staring at pictures and looking at people making things, Instagram's there for you. Or if you just like dumb videos and watching me make an ass of myself, there's TikTok. So yeah, there's a couple options for you there.
Yeah. And can't forget to support the channel and support. There's a Patreon. There's a
Patreon. There's Patreon.
It's good stuff. What, just to give people an idea, what's something that, like, because obviously Patreon it's a paid membership, right, to get exclusives and behind. So what can people expect if they subscribe to your Patreon?
So, I'm going to be honest, I've been slacking on Patreon lately, and I owe my patrons a lot. So, since I don't hide content secrets, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like, I'll show you how to do most of this build, but you got to subscribe to Patreon to get the rest. Like, no, right. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So, what I offer on Patreon, we do patron-only live streams and game nights. We'll also do, there's a whole private Discord channel for my patrons only, where they can message me, talk to me. They all have a much more direct line to getting help with 3D printing. If they just want to chat, if they want, troubleshooting help. patron only giveaways, props I make, and certain things like that. That's where one area I've been slacking in. I'll admit that live. I just, with the move and everything going on,
sure,
they've been super supportive and patient. So I'm trying to get it spun back up and start taking care of them a lot more. And then access to patron only merchandise too. I'm working on a little bit of like clothing area, and only my patrons can access certain bits of it to get really specific merchandise and like at like a really good discount of all that. I can't give that away for free. It needs to be paid onto the website, but yeah, I'm trying to rework the Patreon and make it just. And then behind the scenes, I am working on a little bit more early releases. I bounce projects and ideas off of them, like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, or what do you guys think about that? Or just secret projects. I tell them about a lot of secret projects before they come out on the channel, and special partnerships and collaborations and stuff like that. Give them a lot more early access to that type of stuff.
Excellent. No, I think that's great. And I mean, come on, how can people be mad? Like, no, you're supposed to move across the world and give me daily content at the same time. Like,
yeah, it's definitely
Jesus.
not. Yeah, it's yes. So if you are, I know Mysterio's there. I think Max is in the chat. If you're one of my patrons, thank you so much for being patient. I am working on it. I am.
We're gonna hold his feet to the fire. We got him.
I'm trying.
We got him pinned in.
Yeah, but it's been the lifeblood. It has helped me build my new workshop. It has kept me afloat in some aspects of like getting this back up and running. Like, I will never not be appreciative of every penny they have donated and helped me with. It is. I never thought I'd have a Patreon. Like, I was so scared to even launch it. I'm like, would people really even do this? Like, what am I? And they did, and they have. So it's definitely helped.
Yeah. No, I feel you 100%. I have a fraction of the following that you did, and I've done this for a year and a half, and I only recently was like, all right, I'll do a Patreon just because, little thing here. But I'm like, it was like $3, $5, because I'm like, I give everything like you. I try to just give of everything. But hey, if you want to support, like, it helps when my light goes out and I need a new light.
There's one exit survey for Patreon that I actually like seeing when people leave the Patreon, whatever reason happens, finances, whatever, and there's an option you can select, and it's like, I only intended to give blank X amount of money or a certain amount of money, and it's like, that's it. That's right there. Like, you felt supported, you felt that was like that helps,
Yeah.
It's always appreciated. So I'll have people who join my Patreon. They'll send me a paragraph of a message. Thank you for getting me into 3D printing and help me. This is my way of giving back, blah, blah, blah. And they'll stay a patron for a few months and they'll be on their way. It's like,
absolutely.
That helps. That's all. It's amazing that somebody, it's weird. It falls back to that. What is it weird being like a content creator and having your face out there? It is. It's like, it's never not weird. And I try to use it to keep myself grounded, and I'm just me. I'm just a guy. I make more stuff than people, but I don't think I'm better or special. I'm just louder. I'm louder and I'm comfortable behind the camera. So that's pretty much it.
Nice. And apparently Tony Stark from YouTube is in the chat and says, I just want to congratulate Frank on all he has accomplished and can't wait to see what comes next. So
Tony Stark right there. He has been with me for almost the entire journey. When I started getting some traction on Instagram, or I forget how exactly he found me, but he's been like one of my original followers, and he's been helping me with my suit. Amazing programmer and coder and lighting effect. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
There you go.
Ariel, thanks, man.
There you go. That's what it's that. And something else too, I saw as I was kind of digging around, because I'm trying to push people to like, hey, maybe I should go check this out. That you also do like giveaway contests where with prizes like I saw a full scale Iron Man helmet, things like that. I mean, those are things you do from time to time as well.
I get free printers. I have gotten thousands of dollars worth of free printers, and I don't need that many 3D printers. Like, no. So I'll the ones I don't want to add to my arsenal production and help build stuff for the channel, or I'll do giveaways. I've given away a couple printers. I have 7 more waiting to give away, like just sitting there, just in boxes. They were built, used, tested, and they're boxed back up. So stuff like that. I started getting a lot more contacts with other companies and brands, like 3D printing accessory companies, filament companies. Funko reached out recently about something, which was pretty cool. I've worked with Zavi.com. I've just recently had a sponsorship by actually Marvel. So there's, hey, you guys want to do a giveaway? People like sending me lightsabers now because they saw that I had a couple lightsabers and Mandalorian stuff. So you start getting these different contacts, and it's like, well, what can I pull to do giveaways? To give back to, let's give away some free shit. Why not? I have it. I'm not going to try to hoard all of it.
Yeah,
I don't have the room.
At some point, as is it. I mean, nobody's sending me shit, but at some point, it'd be like, well, I can only hold so much. Just give.
This room is bigger. My new workspace is much bigger, the studio, but the wall space is smaller because of the tilted. There's a couple more doors in here, so I've had to be very careful with how I've hung stuff. I'm kind of out of room without making it cluttered. I have a couple more props I'm going to be selling and giving away, a couple more helmets and stuff. I just had to build all these shelves right here to try to not make it look cluttered. So finding that balance is tricky.
Yeah. Well, for all your guys who like giveaways and stuff, I also do giveaways here on the channel. So if you like the page,
he does giveaways.
Pop Culture Warrior, I have I used to go to Comic Cons and I'd get free boxes of stuff and I'd buy stuff, and I'm the kind of guy that doesn't open anything. So every time I do a big giveaway, I'm like, I'll pull this off the shelf and I'll pull this box, and this was a 2019 exclusive, and this is I do, and then I also, every giveaway, I include an autographed item, a celebrity autographed item, as well as an original piece of artwork. I used to commission.
Wow.
I had this weird fascination with getting just people commissioning artwork, and so every giveaway also has that stuff. So yeah, I'm old. I feel you. Hey man, you should subscribe to my channel so that maybe you can win something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was the plan. I'm gonna make a bunch of fake accounts.
Hey,
and just sub.
I really don't care. Good for you. That's the smart way. I encourage people to do that. Make as many fake accounts and follow. Dude, this has been, I mean, just an absolute fantastic conversation. I've enjoyed it so much. I hope that you had a good time, that you've enjoyed yourself. Okay, and that the next big milestone. I want you to reach out to me and come back, because I want to be part of it. I want to have you back. I want to we're gonna have you in full suit. We'll start the whole thing. You come on in full suit. A little less comfortable.
If I had known it was gonna be like this, you're never sure. You never know going, especially going into interviews. I would have put the top half. I thought about it'd be funny if I put the top half of the suit on or something. I was just sitting there waiting, but I'm like, let's do the first one.
No, but dude, you are from here forth, you are a lifelong friend of the show. Thank you so much. This has been a very frank conversation. See what I did there? But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm gonna let my guy go because I want to give him time before he goes off to bed. I got people in the chats going like, "Hey, it's 20 minutes to his bedtime." So.
If I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna be up till midnight just out of insomnia and not being able to sleep. So it's okay. You just came off across the pond. So okay.
No, this has been absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for our next conversation. Please, everybody, if you haven't, the Pop Culture Warrior on Facebook and YouTube and all those places. I'd appreciate it. But we're gonna toss to a quick break. I'm gonna say goodbye to my guest, guys. This has been Frank from Frankly Built. Follow him on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, all the things.
All the likes. And
all the likes. Support him.
Ring all the bells.
Thank him for his service. Come on. This guy's serving and doing all this content creation all at the same time, dude. You're a better man than me, sir. So I tip my hat to you.
Thank you for serving and taking some bullets.
Yeah, we all did our thing. But all right, guys, I'm gonna toss it to a quick break. We'll be back with more show after this. Shots.
I stood there in that middle of church with a bottle of gin in my hand. I'm looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. My days turn to nights, my nights turn to weeks when you're living life on the road. I'm halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. I finally made it back to Bourbon Street, picking some of them old night bars, hoping I could find myself playing music on my guitar. For the kid around, they all shouted out as the drinks began to flow. I pulled out that old guitar, then I showed them how to do-si-do. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. Church with a bottle of gin in my hand, looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. Days turn to nights, but nights turn to weeks when you live a life on the road. Halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hello peoples. How are y'all? We're back live. Welcome. Sorry for the long break, but I'm not gonna lie, we were having a great conversation with Frank. He's just awesome. I love the dude. I want to keep him.
Yeah. So, thanks for hanging out like while we were still bullshitting.
Yeah.
We should just left them on the air, just bullshitted some more.
Honestly, I could have kept talking to him all night, but I feel bad because people have lives and whatnot. But we said he's gonna come back whenever he damn well feels like it, because the dude's awesome. And and it'd be cool. Like he's fucking awesome. And we were kind of talking, and you guys, in the chats were amazing. I think like shooting us ideas and fucking like 3D print a whole F-15. I want to do that now. If Frank's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I like Jim's 3D print, do the weird science, 3D print himself a girlfriend. I like that. And he had a great comeback for that too, man. Oh, you're like, yeah, get yourself. You can make a girlfriend. You can make her appear. Just print some cool shit. She'll come.
Right. I mean, I don't know if my wife would be too keen on that idea, but it's whatever,
An extra set of hands, man. Extra set of hands.
I don't think I've got all my fingers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you after your story. I mean, I need an extra set of hands.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of that too, I know people were asking about more of the story. I think another night. Okay. Will. I mean,
do you want to finish your story tonight, or do you want to do some more with
it.
it.
What does finish the story mean? Because the story continues on for like another 18 years after that point. So
that's what I mean. Okay, well, give us the Reader's Digest version of it.
Yeah, I mean, I was shot. I survived.
Obviously, I mean, like spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! I survived. Yeah, no, I ended up in that little field, like literally off the flight line field thing. They put
you never answered who took those questions in the field hospital.
Who took those questions? You mean the pictures?
Or the pictures? Who took the picture?
Okay, so
like they did. Like somebody was like, "I was trying to save your life," and they're like, "Nah, I better fucking I'll make him Instagram famous."
True story. Little side story is I was good friends with with the medics because you want to be friends with the medics, right? Everybody wants to be friends with the medics. So I was good friends with one of them, and the kind of running joke that we had was like, hey, if I ever end up on the table, take pictures. Like, and of course he was like, you can't do that. Like, that's not allowed. You can't do that. And I said, no, listen, I'm dead serious. Like, you got to do it. If I end up on the table, you got to take pictures because one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to survive and have some hella cool pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm gonna die, and at the very least, like that's something you can send to my family and say like he was with us. Like he didn't die out in some field, in some podgy hole. Like we had him. He was safe. We couldn't save him, but
we tried.
He was surrounded.
Here's us trying.
Yes, he was surrounded. He was he had people fighting for him. All that and. Not to end on such a sober turn for such an awesome night, but yeah, that was the whole point. Is that I've always been a picture guy. Anybody that knows me knows that for all the crazy stories I talk about, it's a fraction of actual things that happen because I tend to only talk about stories that I can photogenically back up. I had a super pet peeve when I was young.
I mean, in all fairness, I feel like you could tell the story of you getting shot and recovering without having photographs. Like we believe you. You don't. I don't need to. I mean, it's awesome. You're really lucky to have those pictures. Honestly, you really are. I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
I know.
But if you came up and were telling the story and you have enough scars and everything already too, and
well, that's the evidence, right? That is the evidence.
You have some sort of evidence, but also too, like I don't know, like. There's dudes who don't have any of that anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't call them liars. They tell me like, "Oh, I got blown up in Iraq or whatever." Like, all right, tight. I mean, it sucks. Like
this is when you don't see a lot. There you go, because I'm always dressed and things.
The show is flexing.
I always have clothes on. That's when you don't see a lot. And then obviously the ones on my back and stuff.
Did you get hit? So was it AK fire that got you then, or storms, or was it?
Technically, it was RPK, which is basically I mean, for those that don't know,
that's a bigger round. It's the 7. It's the 5.4.
That's the 7.62. It's the same. It's an AK with bipod legs, basically, is what it is.
I thought it was longer. I thought they were bigger bullets. Like they're still the same size bullet, but they have more powder behind them.
Yeah,
right?
They're the same bullet. So like they're basically like armor piercing round versions, kind of like it's
because for it to go through your plate like that, it has to be a little bit bigger than just a regular.
Well,
right?
So here's the crazy thing. So I was hit with armor piercing plates. I was hit with armor piercing bullets, but luckily, a couple weeks prior to me getting shot, we had swapped out plates. To this at that time it was the new dragon skin plates, which were meant to stop armor piercing rounds. So had I got shot, same situation, but like a couple weeks prior before the switch, those bullets would have went right through me, like just like hot butter. And if you saw the one picture, which I'll share the pictures again since fuck it, we're here anyway.
So now,
yeah. So you'll see the one armor as they pulled out the plate, it hit me directly in the heart.
Yeah, that's what that one I noticed that it was. I thought that one penetrated your plate.
No, so that one didn't penetrate the plate. What happened is the plate did stop it, but the force of the bullet cracked and broke most of my ribs, collapsed my lung, and caused internal bleeding. So that was the damage behind that. And in one of the pictures, you see me laying in the bed. Oh, there's the plate right there. You see me laying in the bed, like in my chest is actually covered because I had a bunch of tubes coming in and out of my chest. And I told them to take the picture, but they're like, let's cover, that doesn't look good. Let's cover that up. And so they throw a sheet thing over my tubes and stuff. But yeah, so for, yeah, the bullets didn't pierce. It was RPK fire from very close range. They were only maybe 30 meters max from our position. They had the high ground. They had set up the ambush. They figured out what we were doing. They figured out that we must be following their cell signal, and that's why we kept showing up everywhere they were. And so they set up an ambush. And like I said, the good thing is, well, we have the better guns, we have the better firepower, we have the better air support, we have the better trained fighting force. And so while they got the drop on us and they hit 3 people. They hit the guy coming out of the which I never talked about him. The guy that got shot coming out of the bird miraculously was shot twice through his leg. No bone damage, no nerve damage, no nothing. He was literally returned to duty, I think it was like a month and a half later.
Wow.
It's crazy. And then me, obviously, I spent the next 2 years in the hospital, 44 surgeries. I died twice. XYZ, yada yada yada.
What about the other dude? You said there was a third guy that was hit too.
Oh, the gunner. The gunner.
Oh, and the bird. Yeah.
He took a shot. I think it was like I don't know if it was abdomen or hip or something like that. But it was lower body. Survived fine. Just took a bullet and like no big deal. Just took a bullet.
He just took a bullet.
Just took a bullet.
Yeah.
I mean, what a pansy. Just took one bullet.
Yeah,
little bitch. So anyway, so that puts again, there's more to the story in the sense of like the surgeries I went to, the years I spent in the hospital. I got 100 military stories of crazy shit that happened to me in the service. The time I got stripped naked and forced to do PT in front of the platoon, and crazy stuff.
Fucking grunts do dumb
shit. We really do. This time I was forced to do push-ups over the side of a dam, like with my head hanging over the dam. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff. But yeah, well,
just because you didn't jump in with them, huh?
Pretty much. So we'll get to those stories. That's I want to start maybe doing this more often if it's something that people want. I feel like the whole point of the show is pop culture, so sometimes I don't feel right talking about myself.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe we could do like the podcast only version or a supplemental episode.
Yes, we can. I think we should.
Or
Patreon content.
Exclusive Patreon content. Ooh, I like it. And then, or sometimes we're gonna have a guest that cancels. We have some big names that have work that happens. So
sometimes things will work out.
If they cancel, then hey, it'll be it's either we're gaming with us or story time. I mean, there you go.
Well, it's more story times.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't get shot 100 times and fucking die and all that other
But
bullshit,
I'm sure you have some great stories.
I wouldn't call them great. I need to find a way. I mean, I know that we don't really have like censors per se, but
certain.
You gotta find a way to not make it so embarrassing.
certain stories. But anyway, thank you guys so much. It is Jesus Christ. It is 11 o'clock at night.
It is 11 o'clock. Yeah.
But
well, your time. It's only 9 mine.
Well, yeah, your time.
By the way, we should have at the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you have that picture saved that I sent
I'm
you?
not putting that up. I can't.
What was the one I sent you on Sunday? I was representing Pop Culture Warrior.
Yeah. I thought you meant the other picture. I was like, I can't show that. I ain't trying to get in trouble, man.
We're coming to Sturgis next year. Pop Sturgis. We'll set it up.
Yeah. Sorry.
So you put that up. Maybe put that on there. Share it on Facebook or something.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Definitely.
Radar representing
put it on the Pop Culture Warrior page, man. Shit, that's what the fuck the page is for.
I don't have access to the Pop Culture Warrior page.
I will give you access to the Pop Culture Warrior page. I'll give you access. Not a big deal. Jesus, oh God.
I'll just share it. I'll just do it.
I will give you access. You just post on that. I don't give a shit. Anyway, so once again, shout out to Frank from Frankly Built. That dude is
thank you for coming on.
Legit awesome. What a phenomenal conversation. I'm serious. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my wife now about how I'm gonna spend money to buy a 3D printer. I have to do it now.
We need to print the bobblehead, dude. That needs to be a real thing, and that needs to be like, I will purchase one. How much is that resin printer? The resin,
didn't he say it was like 150, something like that, 200?
They seem really cheap. Some of
them. Yeah, and then you gotta get the resin 3D.
Hold on.
You know, you gotta get this stuff to print.
Oh no, resin 3D print. Hold on a second.
I'm sure there's ones that are thousands of dollars.
This one's $11,000.
I don't think that's the one he was recommending. I don't think that's the one.
Anyway, okay, they're all the way from $199. It's an Igloo.
There you go.
To this one is a Form Labs. $11,000.
We're not printing starships here, okay? We're not making rocket
I'm going to
ships.
print an F-15. I don't know what you're talking
about. Anyway, guys, we have reached the end of another edition of Pop Culture Warrior. Once again, I do want to thank the audience. For those that weren't here at the beginning of the show, we did it. We were nominated for the 2021 Podcast Award in the best... Sorry. I love you, Frank, man. Dude, you're the bomb. He just dropped in a comment. He's like, 2 to 250. That's for a resin printer.
All right, tight. All right, we can get one of them.
The Elego Mars Pro 2. That's what he's recommending. Dude, you're a rock star. I love you, dude. So yeah, once again, we were nominated for the 2021 Podcast Award, Best in Entertainment. It's thanks to you, the fans of the show, because without you guys, A, we're nothing. B, I mean, I can only vote once. So without you guys, we don't get nominated. So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for voting for us. Hopefully we win. I mean, that's all I can say, right? Like, it's out of our hands.
I don't want to sound Debbie Downer on this.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we made it.
To be nominated is huge. To be the top
absolutely.
10.
It's a big step to even get this far, and I really do appreciate. I know I did. I got on there, but like I said, you and I are only 2 votes. So hopefully everyone else had more than 2 votes.
Yeah,
so.
We appreciate you, man. Well, I might have made some fake accounts, but that's neither here nor there. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah,
so
that's true. That's true.
But no, for real though, thank you guys. Thank you guys. You know, we'll keep you updated as it comes out. I'm not gonna keep harping on it, but you guys are absolute rock stars. I love you all. And Mr. Radar,
we doing the spiel? Yeah, the spiel.
Do your thing. Yeah, tell them what they have.
Oh, tell them well, you have been listening to Pop Culture Warrior on Tuesday night, live from my bunker and CQ's fucking man cave with Mjolnir in the back and everything. Now, tomorrow, Wednesday, Donza day off. I'll be in Sturgis. Follow the Radar page. Maybe I'll throw up some exclusive Radar content of Radar at Fob Sturgis. Thursday night, Sergeant's time. It's Ice and Spanky, but Ice is still on vacation, I believe. Now,
I think so.
Keep an eye out. Maybe some more Sturgis content. Maybe, maybe not.
There you go.
Maybe I'll do one big drop. Maybe I'll do a little bit, but tomorrow I'm riding down there for sure. If you are in the area, if you are in the Black Hills area and for the rally, hit me up on the Radar page. Maybe I'll buy you a beer or something. I don't do giveaways. I don't have cool shit, but I'll buy you a beer if you're in Sturgis and you meet up with me. That sounds fair.
People like that better anyway.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know. They probably do want a 3D printed Marty, but sorry about it. Anyway, Friday night Freedom, Kaz and Pookie. Good show. Check them out. You'll enjoy it. Saturday, Sunday, weekend, Donza days. We'll be off. Sunday, very important day, my birthday is Sunday. So cards and monetary donations are appreciated. Got to pay for all those beers I'll be buying. And then let's see, Monday. It's after the weekend, right? Yeah, Monday is. Monday edition. Ice, Flash, maybe. Who knows? I don't know what's going on with all that situation. I still on vacation. There's some big news coming out here shortly with Ice. And
big things coming.
Big things coming. So, but it takes time to set up those big things. So, we gotta be patient. Plus, let's be honest, it's almost the end of summer, dude. We have lives too, right? Let's see. By Friday, according to Amazon, my 3D printer should be here. So I'm just kidding. But next Tuesday is back here with us, Pop Culture Warrior, CQ Radar.
That's right. And next Tuesday, I'll give you a quick poke at who we got coming in next Tuesday. I should probably, while you're doing your spiel, I should probably have
Europe
dialed this in. Dominic Burgess. If you don't know who that is, I mean, you're gonna find out, because that's the whole point of bringing him on for an interview. But he's an actor. You've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Trying to think what was.
Yes. What are you doing?
Yeah. You talking to me? No, yeah. I was trying to find. I had a link. With the stuff he's been in. You've definitely seen him in a bunch of stuff, because he's Dr. Death. He was in The Good Place. What else? Dr. Death is his current thing right now, but he was in The Good Place, Better Things, The Magician, Star Trek. He was in an episode of Star Trek Picard, 2 episodes of Family Guy, or Modern Family. So he's one of those guys, you've seen him in different things. You've seen his face. You probably recognize his face once you see him. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to that one. And we're gonna break down his series, his new series, Dr. Death. And yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think you guys are gonna learn a lot. So with that, we've reached the end of the show. Thank you all guys for watching and hanging out with us. We are looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Until then, stay nerdy.
Yeah.
Love you guys. See you next week.
See you.
Shuts.